Greetings. Hello, y'all. Welcome to another smoke show. This is Smoke Show Sundays on BMBBH. I am Kev. And first off, wishing all the fathers a happy Father's Day. Um, we the GOAT. I tell you that much. I had a pretty good Father's Day. And, I talked to my dad today as well. And, sent the usual text messages and stuff. It was it's pretty cool, man. Like it's always cool for anyone to be reminded that someone cares about them. I mean, that's some special stuff. Also, just to remind you, also to press the like as you come in the building. Yeah, and also a special shout out to the stepdads. Get that off the screen so you get y'all a full picture. Special shout out to the stepdads out there. Being a stepdad isn't easy for, a multitude of reasons. But if you are a stepdad, then and you are able to do the damn thing as well, that is great. We appreciate you guys as well. Well, at least I do. Some people think that stepdads are suckers, and we just saw a horrendous example of a step dad, and maybe not him, but how he was treated. So, yeah, if you are one of these and you doing a damn thing, you deserve some recognition too. Just saying that there's a degree of difficulty that goes along with that. But how do I know? I'm not a stepdad. So anyway, who am I to judge at the end of the day? So, special shout out to, like I said, all of the fathers, all of the father figures and such. So so let's get on with the smoke show. We gonna wait till some people get in here, but tell you what, this is going to be Happy YouTube Daddies Day, and it's a tried to come up with a father related topic, a daddy related topic. So, as some people say around here. All right, let me give some shout outs. Still early. Phil Brandt. We got RPM in the building. Shaka Nulu. Yeah, everything good, man. You know, all the fathers that will tune in tonight that are here right now, happy Father's Day. So anyway, just wanna like I said, since you guys are the first ones here, just wanna tell you guys a little something that, if a smoke show by definition, I would say my definition because that's the definition that matters. It is not a place of blatant disrespect. People seem to think that uh, smoke shows. I mean, maybe I'm someone that is kind of having some issue with whatever the rules are on this one. But all I know is how I like to do things over here, and it doesn't mean that I'm trying to facilitate an echo chamber either. So, it's um, some may perceive it as me doing proper discourse for dissenting opinions. Others see it as sometimes things get out of hand, and you know, Kev needs to bring more control to his panels and to his guests as well. So we're gonna set some ground rules. We're learning as we go along. That's what we're doing. We're learning as we're going along. I mean, we're not perfect, but I have a grand key idea as to how I want to run things. So, um, but let me see if I can give a proper response to the whole YouTube daddyism thing. Since people saying, I'll let you watch the video, and I take when I share the screen and show you this video, I take into account that people have different viewpoints and people may have some things to teach me. So I'm gonna react to it. I showed it on here before. I'm gonna show it again um, just to give you an idea of what inspired this topic tonight. Anyway, let's get to it. Go ahead and share the screen. How to run your smoke show. Oh, okay. Nobody has told me how to run it. I mean, people have attempted, but people uh pretend like I've just lost complete control, and it's just people gonna have to learn how to nut up sometimes. If you got the energy to do it, then hey, I can't stop shit from unfolding. All right, so let's make sure that we can all see this. And no disrespect. The truth as I know it. I've had a time to watch this video before this broadcast, and I can give you a better analysis of it. So I don't want anyone to believe that I'm just gonna straight up disrespect truth as I know it. I mean, I have questions myself, and if he just happens to come by, I'll let him come up. I'll drop the link. But one thing that is there's two things that are factors in this situation. It is his viewpoint and it is my viewpoint. And I care a shit ton more about my viewpoint than his viewpoint. You know, let me see. Let me hold up. Yeah, like I was saying, I'll just try to get shit straight. I care about my viewpoint a lot more than his viewpoint, and I do understand that there are popular opinions in the way people view things, and I understand that I have to take this into consideration as I move forward. So, oh, let me do the fair use thing first. Sorry, guys. Um, Let me do the fair use thing. I know this is kind of without form, but like I said, we're all learning here. Let's see. Do I have a fair use banner made? Uh, some of y'all be like, how unprofessional of me. Oh, there it is. There it is. Fair use on this. I'm not doing a reaction to something that is of my original creation. This does belong to the content creator. Truth as I know it. So I just want you to, take a listen. And I'm gonna respond. And any response that I make, be sure that I know that everyone is entitled to what they believe. So here we go. I'll probably stop it periodically, just to, you know.
Okay. So there we go. Share screen. So here's the problem, right? When you are told to tolerate abuse, when you're told to tolerate abuse, right?
Okay, first of all, nice music going on in the background, pretty smooth. It's a way to draw people in as you were speaking. It's a lot of it's a psychological thing when it comes to being in front of an audience that you're trying to take into your message. I would say, but I wonder who was told to tolerate abuse. That's one of the first things. I may point several things out. Who's told to tolerate abuse? Anybody watching can very well comment and tell the audience what they believe. And shout out to all of you. I will get to your comments momentarily. But I don't know. I've from personal experience, I've never been told to tolerate abuse. I don't know what the fuck that even means on a Wi-Fi connection, but okay.
Right? You pretend not to see stuff. Oh, it's not that bad. So I made a video based off of AM1. I think I got it from AM1 about these YouTube daddies, right? I made a video about it, and AM1's talked about this, where you have black men who have large subscriber counts and other content creators with lower content subscriber counts kind of look up to them. I mean, you got guys in the black manosphere calling these content creators pawpaw, and they look at him as a father figure. Videos up, just, bruh, you kind of look up to them. I mean, you got guys in the black manosphere calling these content creators pawpaw, and they look at him as a father figure. And so they have these online YouTube daddies.
Okay, um, y'all. If anybody knows the name of a content creator that has called another content creator Paw Paw, please let me know because I've never heard that. Um, people will probably believe anything. I would say we're in that kind of environment. I take that kind of shit into account because I've seen many, many things as far as how our people in particular interact on social media. I do understand that people get into cliques and groups. Shit happens all the time. But I've been hearing this daddy thing like way beyond. Shout out to AM1, way beyond AM1, and way beyond Truth Video. And I'm gonna get to explain it momentarily, but to try to, I would say, more so appeal to today's audience. This was a recent video, so while it's still fresh in our heads.
And I made a whole video about it. And so Kevin response makes this video here. What's a YouTube daddy? Bruh, you know what a YouTube daddy is. You have a YouTube daddy.
I see that thing. I mean, offhand hearing that, like first thing, like we got to start with me. Um, I'm too old for some shit like that. I mean, I really am starting to believe that people willfully underestimate, the adulthood and the manhood in men in the space itself, and they do it as a childish way of doing things, and that's not what I choose to do. Is in particular, I don't choose to act in this way, like pretending like a problem is more serious than it already. I mean, than it really is. Mm, I mean, most people don't realize that the content is a choice. You can choose to watch people or you can choose to not watch people. I don't think people understand that. I do think truth for the advertisement though. I'm not mad at truth. I don't want people to just think that I'm mad. And sometimes people have those opinions like, oh, what is he whining? He's still whining about it. Nah, I'm gonna react. You say my name, I'm gonna react. So if I feel like you're worth it. And truth is an intelligent man. So for the meantime, whatever on that point. But I just had to use this as some context. So I just want to explain myself. I know how horrible explaining things is in this space, despite the fact that you have to follow what a person is saying any motherfucking way for clarity. Some people just don't get that. They don't. So they interpret things this way. So let's not be passive aggressive also. Yeah, I was making it as a response. I think the whole concept is stupid. And I mean, like this would be the night to convince me. I will say that. This would be the night to convince me that, just niggas just walking around here with YouTube daddies and shit. Like, I know that there are guys that are in this space that thrive on that little hyper individualism. And I get that. I get that. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't have friends. I mean, I'm not that kind of person. But at the same time, I have to go to the beat of my own drum. Is a bit of stubbornness with me. Although I do claim and, all, and have claimed for a while the habitual line steppers. Long live the habitual line steppers. And that's what pissed me off. As long as I've been saying long live the habitual line steppers, Some motherfucker would believe that I, black men being brutally honest, Kev, has a YouTube daddy. I'm a grown up. I think that people in this space and the people who keep talking about this space, whatever on that, but I think all of you need to start acting like grown ups. When you get old enough, you have to start transitioning at some point. I mean, have fun, be entertaining. Oh, that's another thing. People are starting to hate entertainment for some reason. The fuck is wrong with you people? I mean, I believe that that's just another way of saying that you have no personality. I'm sorry, I have to break it down this way. You know, what if I said everything like a fucking robot? Let's continue. He has more to say.
Why are you pretending like you don't know what it is when you know exactly what it is?
No, I just when people make titles to YouTube videos, is usually for the person who clicks on the title. People make all kinds of decisions when they um uh make YouTube videos, post, download, upload, whatever you call it. What's in the thumbnail, what they're gonna name the video. You know, I was them. Maybe they wanted to ask that question. What's a YouTube daddy? Am I to assume am I to assume that everybody in my viewing audience knows what a YouTube daddy is? It sounds weird and cringe. Cringe, cringe, cringe. Y'all love to use that word too. Cringe. And believe it or not, I'm trying to help you guys. You're always saying stuff like, oh, we need to be helping black men. I'm trying to help everyone decrease the cringe. Look, I just didn't come up to YouTube with the thought of being put in a submissive position by anyone. And that's what it sounds like this person is saying about me. So just wanted to offer some clarity. I know people don't like to be responded to. What he crying for? What he crying for? That's not the world we live in. You can be responded to, you can be commented on. People will say anything about you. All I say at this point about truth is he's off. What did I say? It matters what I feel about this. I care about it more than I care about what he feels. But let's continue. Maybe some of you agree with truth on what he's already said and what he's about to say. Now, what he's already said, would I would wonder why. Seriously, like, do you even watch this content? I mean, not that I don't welcome new people. I do welcome new people, by the way. But anyway,
So now we got a culture of black men pretending not to seeing things. Black men
I see a, I see a lot. I see a whole lot. I saw this.
putting their head in the sand instead of being brutally honest. That
Yeah, yeah, I'm brutally honest. So it might be some times where I might get too brutally honest just tonight alone.
that's what this does, and this is very dangerous. These are the unintended consequences of a lack of morality. Like not standing up for yourself is a form of not is a form of a lack of morals. You have a
Not standing up for myself, or is he speaking in general right now? Because I mean, all of this shit about YouTube daddies and everything is subjective. I'm a father. I have a father. He's chilling at home right now. He's probably asleep. He went to church this morning. A man that raised myself along with my brothers and sister. He's at home right now, missing his wife, living his retirement. That's the only dad I got. I have I have a dad figure also. I have a dad figure, and he's a good dad to his kids. One in the medical profession because not only am I proud of that guy, my best friend. um, he's just he's a father himself, so I know what a daddy is. I know what a father is. I'm around. It's like I'm around all of these black dads in my family, and for some reason, people act like they don't know that black dads exist. So I will agree with truth to that point, but that YouTube daddy shit is silly to me. I don't like being underestimated like that. I don't. But some people might agree with truth. So, hey, there are those people out there.
A duty to oneself to fight for yourself and defend yourself and make sure that people respect you so they don't walk all over you.
I don't give a fuck about nobody's respecting. If they try to walk on me, I'll break their fucking foot. Now I know that was easy to say on YouTube and on a Wi-Fi connection, but still, this context you're using with my shit on the screen,
And I like Kev. I have no smoke for Kev at all. I like Kev. I don't want to see him treated like that.
treated like what? Like what? That time BGS like felt some kind of way at the end of that show. So, like hell, human beings are gonna feel a certain kind of way. It's part of being human. It's the human condition. People act like they don't fucking believe that anymore. It is like I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I've tried to be a peaceful person. I've tried to be a cool guy, but apparently, according to somebody, I'm a BAN. So hey, shoot, this people have their own opinions. They have their own thought processes, and at least I take that into consideration. I don't try to take some shit and make it into something else.
That's too not him. That dude is cool. He's cool as hell. Not him.
Let me say for the record, there's nothing cool about hell. From what I hear, hell is hot. I'll just not really trying to just push back, but this just what I hear is different from is cool. I'll just take cool.
Right? But it's like, oh, I'm just gonna pretend like I don't see it. And that reminds me of what Sister George learned, where she goes, "Oh, well,
Oh, I got compared to a woman's. I mean, this Sister George, she people too. She a habitual line stepper. So, yeah. But the way I don't know, man. It just seemed like all of this is just trying to create a narrative and take swipes or whatever. But without and then putting in the disclaimer that he's a cool guy. He's cool as hell. I like him. I mean, it's the same thing he said about Edward Anderson. Oh, I like Edward Anderson. Started going to all this other stuff he said a multiple number of times about Ed. You know, so if I hear the things that he say about Ed, and he say I like Ed, and I'm worried about Ed, then what am I supposed to think about this? I'm asking as a man. I'll drop the link in a few minutes. I'm really not even looking at any comments right now, but let's continue. Let's see if he has anything else to say.
you'll know when it's time to leave." Like you gotta have stitches in your forehead. When you get them stitches in your forehead, you'll know when to leave.
What am I going to get attacked? I mean, how does that happen on Wi-Fi? I mean, the whole pretending like I don't see things. I see everything. Maybe and let me is like check out the community tab caption in my video is always more sinister than it seems. I'm not saying that about let's not even be passive aggressive about this shit. I ain't say that about BGS Hipmore. I'm not saying that about Truth as I Know It. I'm not even saying that about AM1 who I brought up earlier. I'm probably more so talking about me. I'm my own goddamn person. There are things that people need to consider. Seriously. You guys are like starting to fucking kidding me at this point.
When he puts a When he gets another baby, with some other woman, that's when you'll know when to leave. And it's like, you don't got to wait that long. Sister George, you don't got to wait that long. You don't have to tolerate that. Kev, you don't have to tolerate this. You don't have to take this type of disrespect. It's not worth it.
I agree, truth. I agree. I don't have to take any disrespect. Especially when I say I'm a part of the black manosphere and people have all that shit to say about the black manosphere. And I'm not, and I know it's not directly targeted at me, it's targeted at other people. I do understand that. But like I was telling AM one time, as I was speaking to him from him being in the chat, um, I said that, hey, if I'm a part of something, I do have a tendency to defend and push back based on what I see, what I really see, the stuff that people say I'm pretending not to see. Oh, that's everyone at this point. Everybody has their own little point about what they think about the space or what they call adjacent to the space. And I can't speak for the collective. I didn't get any orders or any kind of being told by BGS Itmore, because that's who he's talking about. I'm not being told by him to feel a certain way. Like, how dare you, being a grown man, suggesting to another grown man that I have to be told things about how I address content around here? Jesus. The manosphere is so whack. They don't say what we want. That's all of you out there. That's what I think of you, basically. Like, it's just, I can think of you, without calling y'all names. Seriously. Let's continue. Does he have anything else to say?
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's all
And when
he's
you
saying.
don't, and it's like, if you don't say something, and you don't, and it's one thing not to say anything and not to go back, but then to open air, pretend like you don't see it. You're gonna act like you don't see it. Come on, bruh. You can't.
I'm just a black man that advocates for grown men to make their own decisions. I can't sway anybody into believing or thinking a certain way. Like y'all think that we got cult leaders in the manosphere when it's just people who are simply cool with each other. And let's listen up. I've always said this, and this is not a flex. It's like, I didn't find these people; they found me through whatever means. Not to say that says more about me than it says about some of you others. I was just doing content, minding my own fucking business, and then people decided to be cool with me. I welcome that coolness. I welcome that kind of positive vibe. I'm not always up here to, curse about people and shit on folks and put people down and, try to demoralize them based on character or whatever the fuck you guys be talking about around here. Shoot. And then, yeah, right. Says the guy that's running a smoke show right now. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
Can't do that. He did it here too. I thought this was funny. Peek this out. Peek this. He says, "Oh, who in God's name would ever put a dumbass idea like this?"
Hey, I thought that was a legitimate question. Hashtag crying for these hoes.
And he goes, "This was T to Godly in here." He goes, "Black men being brutally son."
Let me say this to Tita Godly. Let me say this, Tita Godly. There's no ill will, bro. I know you're. I know you were joking. You know, I don't have no beef with you, Tita Godly. That's why I crossed your name out. I didn't want people sitting up there like, why don't you challenge him to a knife fight like in that Michael Jackson Beat It video? I didn't want people to come to me like that because, according to Truth as I Know It, people come to me like that. I am told how to react to stuff. I mean, shit. Did you? I didn't get son. Somebody gave the idea that that statement should have been made even as a joke. It was probably due to the same overreaction of a presence of a YouTube content creator. And let's talk about that thing, like about the way that was defined. Let me play into some other part of the video before, like the way that the YouTube data was defined, like when bigger content creators find smaller content creators, and then these smaller content creators kind of look up to them. Which was a suggestion that I should look up to somebody that I've known less than any family member or any friend that I have ever met. And when I say friend, I don't use that definition loose. I've known I've known several years. That's where I'm at in my life. So, the way y'all interpret things kind of fucked up. So we got to over clarify and over clarify. So, see if he has anything else to say.
I thought that was hilarious. I know
I mean, I thought it was hilarious too. That's why I put it up on the screen, during my broadcast.
Kev, he didn't take it personal. This ain't a shot at Kev, but it's like they're coming at you now and they're poking jokes. It's not because he said it, because that looks bad to me on BGS. But when you pretend like you don't see it, now I got to say something. We're not going to just allow this to happen. You could just say, oh, I don't see it. I don't know what it is. No, bro, we're not doing that. We're just not doing that. And it's dangerous.
Here's what we're not doing. Here's what we're not doing. Pretending like I'm just oblivious to reality or some shit like that. I mean, people have their own extreme viewpoints about things. And believe it or not, I'm not that extreme. I'm a stranger to all the stuff. I don't know how many lives have been affected negatively by this plague that these people are trying to forecast. The stitches part is still kind of kind of funny to me. It's like, God damn, see how this one happens. Then I know whose side to be on. I know whose side I'm on, man. Long live the habitual line steppers. I don't say that for nothing. I don't.
Dangerous for you to do that because there's unintended consequences for yourself. So, as an individual, I got to be careful with my morality.
Okay, morality. The only, like, yeah, I get it. You got to be a moral person, and we have to thank the Lord that many people are moral, or there's a moral enough society for things to not go into anarchy. I get it. That people aren't perfect. Okay. What it sounded like to me is, he of course I guess he feel like he's making a difference by calling out a problem because someone has several hundred people watching them every broadcast. And I will tell you guys this over and over again. It's not about subscriber count. It's about the engagement of your audience. It really is. It's about the engagement of your audience. And there are many bigger content creators that they have helped smaller content creators and it has failed. There's only so much you can do for someone. I mean, I hope I get to the size to where I can help smaller content creators and I seem to like their content, not based on trying to gain some measure of control. I don't get why black men in particular feel like it's something wrong or something dubious behind trying to help someone or feel like that you help someone. Like it's not. I don't. If BGS is wrong about something, I know how to say he's wrong, and that's anybody. That's anyone that decides to share my videos. Okay, so let's put it in this context. And I know it sounds dumb, but every time someone shares your video, they're trying to be your YouTube daddy. Let's get that straight. See how dumb that sounds. Like you may not be dumb, but that sounds pretty dumb if you actually believe that. If there are guys, I mean, if there are guys that are not that are that naive, if there are men that are that naive, that contradicts the message I speak here. I almost had this feeling of like, I that I've been called a liar. Now, like I said, T to Godly, I know it's a joke. T to Godly is a younger guy. Younger guys are gonna joke around a little bit more. I mean, they're more serious minded and they have information that some of us older cats didn't have. So I'm proud of guys like that. But I don't have no beef with T to Godly. I'll just say it just like that. It was the idea. I'm not mad with him. I know how y'all love to say, "Ooh, he mad. He's so mad. Ooh, oh my God, he's so mad. Why is he mad? I got in his feelings." People like to think that they have that degree of power over you, and it's really weak crybaby shit, not truth in particular. But see if he has anything else to say.
right? I'm not going to say I'm the most moral person. I'm not going to try to say anybody is, they're evil and, all this. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I do would like to see better out of the black manosphere. I think we all would. And I think complex design and the Black Brain Trust, I think they got it right, man. It's moving off the women. I think AM1 and MOT have it right. We have it right. It's about skills, it's about resources.
It's about talking about what black men make their content on. It's about calling somebody Bravo Alpha November on a Wi-Fi connection, and trying to look like a badass when you don't. It's about calling people incels. This is what I see out of that content. I'm sure that the guys talk about skills and resources, but they're talking about stuff they can do, not stuff you can do. You can work up to it if that's where the interest lies. But there's all kinds of skills out there. There's all kinds of resources for you to gain. But when you know, try to, oh, these motherfuckers out here, fuck these motherfuckers, like, you bastardize your message. I don't care about your feelings about whatever topic is being discussed in any of these spaces, because these same guys are, these same guys, number one, they're always in female spaces. Oh, the black manosphere sucks. Oh. So, I mean, once I see you in those spaces too many times and spewing this bullshit without actually engaging a person that is in the space, like engaging, like, talking to a person and, see if you can come to some middle ground. Like if you take it in the literal sense, what a lot of these guys are saying, like, oh, all they do is talk about women. All they do is talk about women. It's like my requirement is that, especially when you come over here to this channel, drop names. If it's the same two names, I ain't gonna want to fucking hear it after a while. It's just okay. Go take it up with that guy. That's how it's been. That's how I always been. I don't expect anyone. I mean, Grinch said something. He said, "Come on now, Kale Peoples." You know, he considers me people. Everybody doesn't have to do that. So I'm just being fair about this. Yeah, they gonna come at me. I don't get like really, but it's like this. Y'all are coming at me from other spots. You're not coming at me here, or at least that hasn't happened yet. I haven't even looked at the chat since I shared the screen, so I don't know what's going on down there yet. So don't think you're being ignored. I'm just trying to get through this first. So anyway, let's see what else he has to say.
It's about having great experiences with women and not crying about women.
Okay, I don't have any need to do that, despite what some people say, because dumbasses just want to believe anything. I mean, as an individual, and I do understand and realize that there are some men who do that. I understand that. I do understand that, but you can't want me to join in the effort to purge that. you can't want me to do that because I agree with a lot of the I agree with the facts. I'll say it just like that. I agree with the facts. I'm a pretty fair-minded person. There are things that black men need to be accountable for. There are black men, but just what you're trying to apply to the collective part, you need to apply to the individual part. If I'm not out here creating kids that I don't want to take care of, then I don't want to hear it because it sounds like to me that the person yapping and spatting about it, either did that shit themselves or had a friend that did it. Sleeping with community dick or whatever, or running in something unprotected. I didn't that I did that when the time was right. So people need to act like they have shit worked out they should have had worked out before they turned the age of 20. So it's like, what is this like? On one hand, with one of you guys, we're trying to protect Keisha. On another hand, with another you guys, we're trying to bash Keisha. So which one is it? And all you guys call yourselves agreeing with each other. So I agree, no, you're just getting together on your little hatred and hyper individualism against black men. And that's all there is to it. I'm sure that you want to see, I guess, like-minded black men, but and you want to bring black men to more of a constructive way of thinking, but this ain't it. It's almost to the point where you're being hypocritical. In fact, it is to the point where you're being hypocritical. There's no positive breeding ground for what you guys are doing. Truth be told.
It's about having great experiences in life. It's about getting your money up. It's about making investments, investing in yourself, investing in the gym, investing in your wardrobe, investing.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Invest in yourself, invest in the gym, invest in your wardrobe, invest in your health. Yeah, I agree with that.
In some property, right? It's about investing. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, but here's the one thing I believe that you men don't realize. Like, it's not like I don't agree with a lot of what you're saying. It's like truly, if there's a guy that all he's doing, like let's just say literally, all he's doing is complaining about women. All he's doing is Keisha bashing or saving Keisha or whatever the fuck you decide it is at the time. Whatever the fuck you decide it is at the time. You know, I do admit that's counterproductive. But if there's an audience for that, you can't say anything. You are powerless to it. That is the reality. You can say all you want to try to make a difference because I believe that what you guys are doing is you're trying to make a difference in people's lives. If that is the proper context of the purpose of saying all of this all the time, spending a lot of time on it, seeing, having these little coping broadcasts, as I like to call them, coping with the existence of the black manosphere. People I do understand are going to come at the space because of the reputation. Because when hoes are mad and when they're triggered, it seemed to matter to us men a little bit too much. Y'all keep saying this bullshit that we're making women matter too much, but you guys are making women matter too much. Why do I need mentions of women to me? Why do any of these guys? They deal with women how they want to deal with women. That's how it is. You have to start listening to yourselves. One of you say, "Hey, we got to start helping black boys. We got to start helping black men." You got another one that's saying, "Fuck black boys." These are all the people that are over there in your camp. I ain't saying you got to agree at everything, but stop acting like everybody, I guess, in my camp, as you say, agree with everything. I don't agree with everything everyone says. I know how to answer questions straight up, and I know how to not do this passive aggressively. I think this is just a subconscious effort that some of you guys don't realize you're doing to keep black men apart. Calling us bullshit like a circle jerk, and all of these names that are offensive to the ABC community, which I find fucking hilarious. But YouTube daddies. I'm gonna go through a gallery of people that were called YouTube daddies. So I just want you to go ahead. I'm not gonna spend any more time on this, but shout out the truth as I know it. He's like I say, he's entitled to his views and his opinions, just like anyone else is, including myself. People think just because you say things about the things that they say, that's somehow disallowing them from saying it. I've heard AM1 express that a few times. That he's somehow being disallowed. Let me say it. Let me live. Okay, you can say whatever you want. I mean, I'm never at a keyboard or a phone or a recording thinking to myself, I wonder if people like uh AM1 or Edward Anderson is going to let me make this video or let me do this broadcast. Never once that has crossed my mind. Never once. In hundreds of broadcasts, never once. I don't let people run me over. That's funny because I thought it was just me being nice, being courteous toward black men. Some of you ain't got that figured out. Some of you think like you're oh so perfect. Think like that you are the one. Seriously? So wow, we're at 50 minutes. So let me go ahead and yeah. I got a new rule too for, any panels that this might turn into one day. And I mean, I'm here somewhat to be entertaining, but I'm going to be straight with you guys. Period. So, however this is defined, remember, Kev at the end of the day on this channel defines that shit. So, crying for these hoes is against the rules at a smoke show. If you join this panel, I don't want to hear all that crying for these hoes. You can do it if you want to, but it might be met not with a realistic, real world consequence. But hey, there's always room to be petty. So I mean, say what you want. Just understand this: it will be called out. Ain't no crying for these hoes over here. Ain't none of that bullshit simping. I treat people like adults. If they are over a certain age, they are an adult to me. I don't believe that people are stupid. I don't believe that women are stupid. They know. So whatever the subject matter is, if you want to talk about politics, if you want to talk about black men getting power, it's okay with me. The crime for these hoes is prohibited. Sorry, guys. Just what it is. Life isn't fair. Yeah, people gonna be like, "Hey, man, shoot, crime for these hoes could be anything." Yep, anything Kevin deems at the time. No other panelists will decide this. I'll take suggestions. I mean, I'll definitely do that. I mean, but it is all up to me. Man, I ain't even have my brain in the corner. Shit. Oh yeah. Boom. Shoot. So we got 33 watching. Hopefully, you guys will press like on this video. Shoot. All right. We got 30 likes. Please, please. If you haven't pressed like on this video, press like. If you press dislike on this video, hey, it will be celebrated. I'll just say that. Against the rules. No more crime for these hoes. All right, now I'm going to go through a gallery of people who have been called YouTube daddies before. We now have the definition by truth as I know it. I'm not saying that I'm exactly going with the whole context of that, but let me go. Let me go through some of these comments before I start explaining. All right, we got Nightish in the building. Shout out to the chat room. Hit the like. The concept of YouTube daddy exists though. Dudes calling themselves uncle, chick calling themselves auntie. Dudes told to hold on to pockets and every word that has that a content creator says and is never wrong. I'm never treated BGS like that. Never treated any content creator bigger than me like that. Bigger content creators don't even come through here. So I know that's easy to say until that happens, but I'll just have to show you when it does. So until, like I said, until that day, hey, Lexit the community. No such thing as so-called hyper individuality. Black men need to stop being needy and depending on others. That isn't how men behave. Men are inherently independent and natural owners. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Shoot, I don't disagree with that. But there's this saying, strength in numbers. Shit, many men have tried to do it by themselves and have died. But I see what you're saying. Be able to flex on your own and before you can flex together. You know, Nobody needs to help black men. Black men need to help themselves like adults. This is weird and embarrassing how black men are always needing help and are afraid of being independent. I think that's a narrative that's being pushed. I know there are. I know there are plenty of black men that aren't needing of other black men that are never given credit because we want to believe the narratives about black men. What about those guys? Ray Hummer, the Hummer Force. What's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna go through each one of these. I'm gonna go through each one of these comments before I continue. Lexi, if you want to live that damn Ike. Lexi, if you want to live in a society, then you need help from other people. How can you have a society of hermits? That don't make sense. Chaos Rain Show. What's going on? He says, bring the smoke. And that conversation continues. Judge Dre is in the building. Lexi, those things should be. RPM agreed with something. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. What's good, my people? If I'm not reading all your comments, it's because I'm just trying to get to them before I get back to the show itself. You can't sun black men in the black manosphere, especially. Well, they seem to think they can because people make up their own little realities, and they roll with those realities. I know that can be said about men in the black manosphere, but everyone's allowed to express their point of view. I don't get why people don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't get it. Art and stall. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, again, happy Father's Day. Yeah. Alexa Duck community on that damn like, interesting. What type of assistance would I need? If it's monetary, I can only rely on myself and Donald Trump's tax cuts. Another happy Father's Day to the true warriors. He says complex was out of control. It's important to address black women because everything starts with the home. I mean, if this truth is a guy that says that you should find a nice family building warrior to start a family with. And how can you even like identify that what need to happen without the proper description of who that person is? But I understand that a lot of men like in the space they rail against marriage. They don't want to be married, and many of them say it's because of the way the laws are shaped. So I understand that point of view. You know, they'll say stuff like change the laws, change something, change the laws. Okay, all right, we'll let you know how that goes. But I'm not saying that black men shouldn't go for power. What I'm saying, cartel. Salute Kevin. Happy Father's Day. Circle jerk, what does that mean? That's something like super sexual that they throw at us. And when they say stuff like that, I wonder how they came up with it in the first place. So to me, that's just some type of insult and to slight our manhood. That's all that is. It's like it's ridiculous. The first thing you go for on a black man is his manhood because we was kings, but we were conquered. According to them, it shouldn't cross your mind. All right, we got weather in the building. What's going on? Simping ain't easy. My papa was a Rolling Stone. Weather, what up? And then he goes on to say, Kev, I just watched the most maddeningly frustrated video of women arguing for equality. I never truly understood how moronic modern Gen Z women were until I watched that clip in its totality. I already understood that, man. I mean, it's like they have these Mary Sue eyes, and they just go crazy with with the smile that they feel like they have to have. It's just wild. There's absolutes, and then there's that shit. Cartel, good rule, Kev. I appreciate that. He said, "Black Grandpappy speaks like a YouTube Jedi master to these fatherless." Ugh. And like I said, I know that there are opinions about certain content creators around here, and just not that. I mean, I've asked my audience time and time again, but just at the end of the day, it matters what I feel about me. Black men are not begging for help. Black men don't even ask for government assistance. Let that sink in. No, we don't. I will agree with that. But I mean, some dudes did, and let's face it, not we're gonna go with the not all, but there are a lot of black men around here that are simps. Like I'm not saying that simps are men that love black women because that's the definition that many people want to believe. It's just that good God, it's like it's ever evolving, it's ever changing. It's I mean, it's like, don't worry about what my subject matter is. You just make sure that your subject matter is on point. And if it's about me, then thank you. You know, Friend of mine says, hey, I believe they should be talking about me. You talking about the right person. So I appreciate that. But the things that is there are some married men in three spaces, these spaces like you, Kev, and are not complaining about it. Yeah, I mean, but because like, look, there's this thing called guilty by association, and there are people that will use that against you. Since I'm not agreeing of what their assessment is about certain content creators, then I might as well be all of this stuff that they say I am. And at the end of the day, I really don't give a fuck about it. I just want to make sure that there is absolute clarity with the people who tune in to this channel when they go somewhere else and hear it. I don't think marriage is fit for everyone, and everyone is just not marriage material. Facts. Facts. And I'm not saying you got to get married. I'm not going to be that guy that advocates for every person to get married. Everybody ain't built for marriage. Everybody ain't built go to an 8-year college. Everybody ain't built to be able to handle power no matter how much they accomplish. Some people are built to handle power, but don't have anything behind it. There are what I'm saying is there are all kinds of people. So I guess whether I need to ask you the question, who is the black manosphere to you? I mean, there are guys that in fact do have that viewpoint. Who is the black manosphere to you? Oh, and in the black manosphere, you defend black women in any way. You're a simp and a gynocrat. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I got called a BAN and was accused of trying to save Keisha the other day. He wants to save Keisha. I know there's some women that are named Keisha out there that are listening to people saying that shit. Yeah, but people like let me get on with it. People all the time they will say something like Kevin Samuels was people's YouTube daddy because people used to quote Kevin Samuels quite often in their arguments, in their debates, discussions. Kevin Samuels was a name that is brought up, was and still is brought up quite often in all kinds of light. But the main thing for detractors and haters of Kevin Samuels is to call anybody that agrees with Kevin Samuels' philosophies must that Kevin Samuels is their YouTube daddy. That's y'all daddy because some of y'all didn't have no daddy. I mean, why? I mean, when people say shit like that, is that an invitation to talk about the reason for the lack of fathers in the home? Besides the narratives y'all like to push, like black men are just plain sorry, blah blah blah. I mean, I think it is. I think it is. But hey, people to each his own. Angry man, angry man. I mean, shout out to Grinch, but I've heard people, in the space periodically throughout the years. I hear all kinds of things, but people would say that since Angry Man, I guess, is the biggest YouTuber, and people who follow him and agree with him and see a kinship and a brotherhood with him, they try to say that that Angry Man is their YouTube daddy. So I'm just saying I heard it before. Obsidian, same thing. Although I can't think of the YouTubers that I mean, let me see. I heard I mean any content creators that I name, I say I'm dropping names. I don't give a shit at this point. I mean, they may feel like it's promotion for them, but they do more than me on a regular basis, so this should be any problems. C Boogie. Um C Boogie I hear got a lot of help from Obsidian, but C Boogie, of course, is C Boogie. So I mean, shout out to him. Angry Man is a Latino, so he doesn't count. Angry is a YouTube. Angry Man is a YouTube happy because he's a Spaniard. Okay, I mean it's whatever on that, but it's like people who were against Angry Man and against his affiliations. They always called his affiliations. They always called Angry Man their YouTube daddy. Um, you know, but Obsidian, I mean, I mean, shout out to Obsidian. He's doing his thing, but hmm, I mean, it's like this. It's like this. I remember a panel a long time ago. It was on the breakdown when the breakdown first got started. It was me and Mr. Research. And Mr. Research has this thing where he would talk to the audience about something that someone on the panel has said to him. And at the time, it was Obsidian. So, I mean, me being a voluntary asshole because that's all I was doing, I had some learning to do at that time. I was saying to Obsidian, no, not Obsidian. I was saying to Mr. Research, I was like, look here, dude, why don't you address Obsidian instead of trying to, do this shit to try to get the audience on your side? It's like that's not. I wasn't saying that wasn't cool. What I'm saying, it wasn't manlike. Say what you got to say to the man that just said something to you. That audience 9 times out of 10 don't give a fuck unless you shitting on black men. So he got mad and he made a broadcast, talking about that. Obsidian was my YouTube daddy or some shit like that. I mean, and that wouldn't even apply to what truth as I know its definition is. I was like, oh, and that was like the first time I heard some terminology like that. And like, and I'll say this until people get annoyed. I'm a grown ass man. I don't consider a man in a virtual space a daddy of any kind. It's almost it's like this is some type of sexual demoralization or some shit. And I'm like, and I mean, I look at it from many different ways, and I'm sitting up there like, bruh, fuck you. Shoot, why don't you be a man and address a man? That's all I was saying at the time. Shit. Like, dude, just address. Let's be straight up. Let's be men. Let's be brutally honest with each other. I'm not here to look at a man trying to validate himself with the audience, especially the females, because when I see that shit from out of content creators always talking about manhood and masculinity and making sure that everything is okay with the females, maybe there is a problem with the lack of masculinity. And I'm not particularly saying that about Mr. Research, but I mean, when you try to go to the audience like that instead of talking to another man, that's like, okay, let me try to say I'm a bitch without saying I'm a bitch. That kind of thing. When I grow up, I'm gonna be a wannabe. Hopefully, I haven't delivered that message. I was like, God damn. So let me let me go to this next slide. Now, this one might surprise you. Now, what you see on the screen is a cartoon that is used as an avatar and a AI picture of that is supposed to resemble content creator Edward Anderson. The reason the reason why I would even put Edward Anderson up here is because he gets taken up. He is rent free in so many people's brains at this point. You know, Edward Anderson may be sunning people without sunning them. Actually, I mean, Edward Anderson has his way of delivering messages, but goddamn, I hear his name a lot to people who are people who uh, to people that seems that they have some type of social status over him. I mean, shit. If I had social status over someone, I wouldn't be trying to put them in all my conversation. That's all I'm saying. Have to force me to ask questions like, "Who hurt you?" The view of the father in the black community, I would have to say, is one of great resent because I've seen popular YouTubers, bigger YouTubers than me, who I'm sure tried to help out smaller content creators. And then those content creators turned around immediately and said, "Thanks, Dad. Thank you for your help. Even though I've known you a very short time and you're just simply saying that you like my content. Thank you, Dad." Motherfuckers, I swear. Negroes. Shoot. Tell you something, man. If people want to watch these content creators, hey, I do see it, but I just don't see it the way you motherfuckers see it. Shoot. I don't let it worry me like that. But this is a smoke show, so let's stoke the fires. His car broke down. Oh shit, man. Shoot. We supposed to be all these unbothered content creators. So it's dangerous for young black men. No, it ain't. Teach them strength at an early age, or start to break down and analyze why they're not being taught strength. If you have the, if yeah, I ain't posted a link yet. I mean, it's been like an hour and 15 minutes. I give it about 5 minutes, man. I'll be done. But wait, but wait. No, I mean, and then BGS, the one represented by the cartoon that's used as an avatar, sometimes for the first screen in his videos, or whatever the message I guess was supposed to send was elder. I would say, he triggers a lot of people. He's a high profile target. Well, y'all tripping. Oh, but this one most of all, and it's an AI pick, man. This is an AI pick. That's not like a texture pick of him for real. I guess that's a pick he made in AI. But this one right here is the I would say one of the more um probably the most prominent example. Even though, because Kevin Samuels never, I mean, he reached out to a few men, but those men were already doing their own thing. Like mediocre tutorials and reviews, he was already doing his own thing. The lead attorney was already doing his own thing. Dennis Sperling was already doing his own thing. Although many would argue that Dennis Sperling used KS's name quite a bit. Angry Man has been there since 1.0. So Angry Man, of course, is going to have people that are going to be down with him. Yeah, everybody's not going to dislike you. Obsidian, I mean, I think people more there be people who have a better knowledge on that, a better knowledge, on the history of Obsidian. But I do know back in 2017, Obsidian did a video on my Facebook group. It was one I put in a community tab a long time ago. Long time ago. Yeah, so I will always regret not starting this YouTube channel when I started that Facebook group. Always. The shit, man. The black manosphere would be a very different landscape. I'll just say that if I had thought to do that. But, you know, we live and we learn. But O'Shea Duke Jackson, he was a YouTube daddy. I mean, and I'm not saying, the concept of the YouTube daddy is actually true. Some people would say it is, but if anything, O'Shea Duke Jackson is trying to help out a lot of people who are still in this space. Not the ones that necessarily call themselves Black Manosphere, but there's a lot of people that actually, that can't stand the Black Manosphere in its current state for whatever reason. Whether they feel as if Black Manosphere is trying to save Keisha or bash Keisha, or whatever reason, or they're just being petty about not being put on the list. Let's just say what it is. Let's call it out. I mean, shoot, I'm not gatekeeping. No one is. We just understand that there are people that that should be there. There's other people that because of what they've expressed over and over again, 5 days a week, whether it's their own broadcast or whether there's other broadcast. How do I know this much? Because I see things. Tell people like truth as I know it that I I, I I'm not pretending that I don't see things. I see a lot of things. And I'm no authority whatsoever. I'm no authority. Shoot, I'm just me. It It's amazing the kind of response you can elicit when you just try a little. When you just try a little. But hey, I've seen many people pass through O'Shea. Many. There's this guy that claims that he has the first initial of D. You know, O'Shea used to mention him all the time. He's a manosphere detractor. Dude, I mean, dude, kind of cornballish. Then there's another guy who used to interview with O'Shea. He has like a 25K channel, but he doesn't have the engagement to support it as far as like live streams and stuff. And I'm not taking shots at anyone. I mean, shoot, there are channels that are smaller than me. This channel right here that can get 400 people watching, even 1,000. So, just I appreciate everybody that comes over here. But I always put stuff like that on me. But what I'm saying is O'Shea tried to help that person. Then he interviewed some people and some people took off. One of those being the lead attorney. I'm not saying that that makes him his YouTube daddy or nothing like that. But for the one, I remember a content creator that made a video. I think it was this guy Super Sly 75. I remember he made a video like it just I wish I could go find this video. He was telling O'Shea Duke Jackson, he was like, "You need to come down here off Mount Olympus. I don't know what's going on in this space." I was like, "Damn." Now, if now, I'm not trying to start anything, but if that's a reflection of having a YouTube daddy, that would be what I believe what a YouTube son would act like. Making a video begging this man to take time out of his busy schedule to see what's going on in the space. That shit was hilarious to me because I know around what time that video was made. It coincided with a certain event. That shit was so funny, man. I mean, it was chuckles because it's like I said, it's surprising how what kind of response you can elicit when you try a little, when you put up just a little bit of effort, and when you put up that little bit of effort, what would happen if you put up a lot of effort? See, people just can't give you credit for shit. And it just kind of blows my mind because when you do try to help somebody and then they sink into that bitter space, then it makes you not want to help people anymore. So I agree with BGS in that aspect. People do make it harder to support smaller content creators if that's what's going to happen. And just ask O'Shea about it. O'Shea, and I mean, I'm not saying that I co-sign and I'm caping for this mentality or whatever because it just I don't agree with what everything O'Shea says, but O'Shea is expressing himself that he doesn't want to help smaller content creators because it draws beef and drama, and he may be correct from the things that I've seen. Lowering somebody in the presence of someone else just because they come around, the fuck out of here with that. I'm from the mounds of Venus. The androgynous lawyer always came off as a grifter to me. I mean, shit, like whatever he doing, I need to figure it out. He making some money over there. I'm just playing. Oh, I, I wouldn't. Yeah, yeah, of course he is. But see, what we're faced with when we talk about those guys is, at the end of the day, they're treating this platform like a business, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. They're doing what works. Why? I mean, I'm not saying sell people out. I'm not saying sell people out. We're allowed to have the opinions of these guys at all we want, and I'm not saying that you should stop having those opinions. But at the end of the day, they're doing what's best for business. As far as them, they are prospering from it. And I think a lot of people would choose to prosper than to not prosper. But if you feel as if any of these guys are misleading people or leading them down the dark road, you have to pretend you have to you have to use tangible information. You can't use hyper emotionalism, just because you're triggered by what people have been saying about women, as you say, which I believe using women as a subterfuge for something else. There's always something else. There's always some type of agenda, and people have to move like that. Exactly, exactly. Cartel. Nobody really owes other content creators anything. No, no, they don't. No, they don't. I'm not on the horn begging BGS, man. Please, man. Please, dog. Please help me with. Please help me with this content. Oh man, please, man. Come on, YouTube daddy. No, I'm not like that. No, that sounds like some sus shit. Actually, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. If there is a guy that is a father figure on YouTube, as funny as this is gonna sound, then hey, let it happen. I don't until something tragic really happens, like I'm talking about in mass. It can't be like one person 1 year and then 3 years down the road is another person. This has to happen quite often. There have to be a bunch of people at home waiting to drink the Kool-Aid of a special concoction put out there. It has to be that serious. 30 people drank the Kool-Aid and they all and they all use your goddamn personality. A lot of detractors are real simps, not fake simps, and true believers who feel spurned by the space. As long as black men continue to deal with disrespect from the mainstream media and black women, there will be some dorm of black men media to rise above it all. I think what we need to do, we need to use the same thing, the same kind of mojo that we use, in people, ripping our styles. I would say, you know, as far as our culture, you know, what actually created the culture vulture. We need to use that same kind of mojo and apply it to this. And like, it does sound cringe to sit there and talk about women all day, every day. But I gotta tell you, man, it's like I only see like one or two people doing it. And those are people who haven't, and a couple of those people, I just saw another one recently, but a couple of those people aren't even adjacent to the space. When I talk about the space, the manosphere, I talk about content creators, panelists, um, panelists contribute to it. The audience, yeah, the audience is either going to be one or the other. Manosphere, um, Manosphere haters or Manosphere supporters. Now I'm gonna drop the link after I read these two comments from Weather. Like Jerome Whiteside, he's a real detractor because he was a true believer in the space to the point where he flipped and he flipped hard. His hatred for the space is real. I'm convinced based off the stuff that I've seen that young man say. Go find a clip from Melody when she had Obsidian on and Jerome called in and went off LOL, wishing Obsidian had died when he got sick. But it's like, see, did BGS do that? Somebody asked Truth as I know it. Did BGS do that? Did BGS make that young man wish death on another black man? Are these the unforeseen consequences that he was talking about? Those are unforeseen consequences. Creating young men like that. I want to know. I want to know. And I mean, like, hey, man, look. Remember, guys, she was someone else's first. That look, that should solve your problem with women right there. If it doesn't, we got to go back to the drawing board for the thousandth time. Remember, she was someone else's first. You just got to be the top gun. Shoot, Rome is a nut job. No, I wouldn't like. Look, I, I, I make fun of people who make fun of the space. I would say. I, I go into chats and I make fun of them. I say all kinds of things. You know, but I don't waste my time on people. I don't know. I guess if I were 35, maybe even 31 or something like that, I'd probably engage it a little bit more. But all right, the link is down there. Sun is hot, Rob. What's going on? The anger was palpable that day, Kev. You could hear the venom in Jerome's voice. Like for what? What happened? Is that clip? I wonder if that clip is still up. What happened? I mean, shit, man. Just my thing is, if you got to be that serious about it, you should just log off the internet and go touch grass immediately. Like they say about us, we should go touch grass. Yeah, I touched plenty of grass today, and the other day, and the day before, and the day before. Yeah, just like that. It's like that. Immediately, just go outside and touch grass. Get yourself a bottle of water too. Just bottle water, drink it. You'll be refreshed. It'll bring you somewhat back to reality. But remember, she was someone else's first. All right. No matter how much you dislike someone, wishing they died is sad, twisted. People are like that. Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: if you got dudes gunning themselves down in the streets, it's no problem to do that for whatever reason. There's no problem, and I'm not trying to justify it. It is a sick way of is it is a sick, twisted way of looking at things. And you got plenty of evil bitches that would cheer that kind of shit on. So what up, Dre? Judge is in the building.
How's it going?
Oh, Judge, you look like you're building. What's going on?
I'm always building. Remember, I got
All
a
right.
special reputation that, we don't build shit. So I got to build it for
Yeah.
everybody. You know how that is.
Yeah. We got a build, man. Welcome to the smoke show.
How's it
Shoot.
going?
Hey, shoot. Hey, anybody in the chat, where should an hour mark reach in this in this broadcast tonight?
Says 1:30.
1:30. Man, that's in 16, 17 minutes, bro. Like, good God. Trying to end it all right now. We just getting started.
Yeah.
So Dre, happy Father's Day. You know,
Why, thank you.
yeah, it's probably a little redundant at this point for you, but I'm gonna say it anyway, sir.
I'm not going to lie. One of my kids called. So I'm going to show you I must be an asshole, right?
I guess life is about perception, how
Oh,
how
cool.
how people perceive things.
That's
But
cool.
let's get on the topic. Since you're up here,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube Daddy. You've heard the whole YouTube Daddy phenomenon.
Yeah.
You
Remember, I was a content creator before, like, the space really came. And what I've noticed about when it comes to everything, there's always it's basically another form of attack, like it's a form of divide and conquer. Because unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize the space is actually working. What they want is they want the fighting and infighting because the men haven't backed down. So the best way to do is to belittle the men to get them fighting each other. Because you're not going to get the men back to the table to, because with the Draconian laws and everything, you're not getting them back to the table with the status quo as is now. So instead of the men sitting up there, it's like, kind of like this, you got to hold the line. So what they're trying to do is get them fighting on stupid things just to divide and conquer. But one of the things I can say that it works well with women, but it doesn't work as good with men, is that most of the time, even if men that don't like each other, the logic, hey man, if somebody comes and says, hey, we need to change this, that, and the other, unless you're just a super big old simp, if other men would agree with that, even if we don't like each other, we'll agree and say, you know what, things like that does need to change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you can tell, like when you get people like, what do I call him, the dude that wear the blue suit all the time now. What they call that simp dude that's always with, I remember he went after, he went after Coach Greg Adams, the dude in the blue suit. I always wearing them blue tacky ass looking suits. You know what I'm talking about? So it's kind of like it's like every time you go ahead and say, well, don't you think need this to be changed? All they say is, oh, well, no, you need to do this instead. And it's like, but you realize if you take care of the cause, you don't have to worry about the effect, you know? And that's basically what they're trying to do. They're just trying to maintain the status quo because it's an all-out sale. Like remember, I was before the manosphere. I'm happy to even see it this far, to hear people on TV saying some of our talking points. I thought we were at least another 10 years away.
No, they're paying attention because they have to. I think a lot of that has to do with the pandemic as well. I mean,
Yeah.
when people were forced to stay in, a lot of
Mhm.
people did come to YouTube, and then the word got out. And like I said, with black men especially, when we say something, it does have double and triple impact. So what I do understand is, why not put that power elsewhere? I think that's what a lot of these people are trying to say. Besides, their complaint is y'all talking too much about Keisha.
Well, this is unfortunately, and I think a lot of time, and I said, everyone sits in there. That's another thing that people don't realize. And yes, you need to talk about Keisha, and I hate to say, you need to actually talk about Keisha even more. Because Keisha is actually what brings more men to the call, even though they might thrift and all like that than anything else. And unfortunately, if you don't have a strong family unit at home, you're not going to have nothing. So you continue in the status quo. And the problem with not talking about Keisha is this. If you don't, sit up here and keep saying what the problem is, then you're liable to revert back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's the beauty about not saying that this is you got laws on the books is this. Once you start getting the movement going, if you say, oh, okay, come on, we just give them another chance without getting any laws on the books changed, don't mean shit. You got to get laws on the books changed.
So the laws on the books change.
Yeah, if the laws on the books ain't changed, then basically the status quo is whatever they want it to be still.
Yeah. Do
And
you
that's the
think
reason
that?
why they're more about that. It's because the men are saying, no, we're not dealing with it no matter what. Let me turn my damn camera off. I don't need to see me laying on the floor. But the men are saying, no, we getting this or we're done. And
Well,
unfortunately, it needs to be that way. And I'm not gonna lie. You need to explain to people, and women need to see how treacherous other women are, so they can see how not to act.
but don't you think that's a dead effort trying to see women, trying to get women to
No,
see anything at all? I mean, when trying to get them to look at themselves in the mirror is just my
no,
thing is my thing is if they
it's
are
not
going
dead
to
effort.
be
It's actually working.
if they're going to be that evil and that retarded about the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
then is their degree of
Mm-hmm.
wasting time with this? Is it is like, do these guys have a point? Let's address these guys who say all this shit like the whole first hour and a half that, and I'm not trying to get you to have an opinion about somebody, but what do you think when you hear guys like Truth say that, Keisha bashing and all these
Well,
guys want to do is talk about Keisha.
well, like I said, I just look at it as they didn't realize that they were just one blowjob away from the plantation because it's what you were saying, what you were doing is working. I mean, like people like Kendra used to be outliners. Now you're starting to see a lot more women come around. It's actually working. You know, a lot of more women even consider that.
You
I
said
mean, they
You
like
said
this.
Kendra. You said Kendra.
Hmm.
You know, funny you say that because that's a female. Like, what about a
Well,
man? What difference is a man actually making in a space called the Black Manosphere?
uh, what difference does the man has to make a say? Well, I think when the men come out and say that, when they come out and say it's just Keisha bashing, a lot of them just, I hate to say, a lot of them are just simps. And
No, 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 no,
unfortunately,
no, 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 no. What man is making the push? Like, I would say, you're bringing up Kendra, but what man is doing something like or better than Kendra that's making this push as well?
what to wait, push to what? What's the push for? That's what I
I
don't
mean,
understand.
what I'm saying is the effectiveness you say Kendra has.
Hmm.
What black man has that kind of effectiveness in a space like the Black Manosphere?
Not too many of us, I'll say that.
Okay, why do you think that is?
Oh, because black men have the reputation of, yeah, and black men's reputation is in the toilet. I mean, even even all of us, we kind of like when when something happens and a black man is involved, we always we look at it as okay, you know, we'll go ahead and believe it, but then we always say, well, come on, there's probably more to this story. You know,
Yeah, yeah, I do
our
believe in.
credibility is kind of low. I'll say that the black man's credibility is kind of shot. I mean, it's got a lot better in the last couple of years than it ever has been, but the black man's credibility is still shot. You know, and I
Okay,
believe that that's what hurts black people more than anything. Your credibility is still shot.
so I wouldn't go along with the notion that the Black Manosphere is working because of Kendra D. Like, you
No,
know,
no, oh no, 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 it's working because okay,
I
listen. But I'll say it's working not because of Kendra as that. I'm saying is it's working because it's getting some women to come around. That's what I'm saying. She's not doing it. It started with us, and then women started to see the light. It's
okay,
not that
so
she did anything specifically, but oh well, she did something specifically that most women wouldn't do.
I need to ask
Listen
you a
and
question.
compromise.
I
Listen
need
and compromise.
I need I need
You
I
know,
need I need to ask you a question. What do you believe is the goal of the space? I'm asking
uh,
you.
well, personally, I think the goal has already really been accomplished because in the beginning, black men didn't have anything else. So, you know, didn't have a place where they could say their mind and all like that. Like, so now it's probably just morphed into a place where if you want to get black people's attention or whatever, because it's already technically accomplished the goal that it was ever made for. And that was to get a space where black men could, you know, air their grievances,
Air their
you know?
grievances. Air grievances.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're saying is instead of a black man being the catalyst, we're saying a black woman is.
Oh, no, no, I'm saying we started it. I mean, it's just that now they're just starting to listen. You know, I'm
Listen
not
to
saying
what?
they're not the catalyst. No, we started it. It's the fact that they realize that the logic is undeniable. And they're starting to come around. I mean, some of them, very few, but I mean, still a long way to go. But no, it's definitely us.
What types do you feel like are worthy of coming around? What types are we talking about here?
What do you mean?
Types
What
of
type of?
women. Types of women. Like, are we blanking in black women as one? Like, cause see, my point is this: it's like, you know, from when I hear some black women speak, especially on the more popular channels, they have this mentality of all being joined at the vagina. I don't believe that. I believe that there are certain kinds, certain archetypes that, you know, like what kind of woman do you believe is coming around?
Women who want to actually women. The only two women that are coming around technically are the ones who see the problem and want to make a change. Unfortunately, is the women have a a big sort of bonding that the men never had. Like, it's the reason why you can watch shows on OWN or whatever, and you hear like a woman just come out, and if a guy just has any type of opinion, it's like they just like these women ain't never met each other 30 seconds ago, and they just all on each other's side. And it's like now you're sitting here fighting 5 women, and these women didn't know each other. That's one thing that they have. They have a bit more camaraderie than we do.
So can you say the space is succeeding if there's no improvement in camaraderie between black men?
Yes. I still think it is succeeding. It's because unfortunately it's by the stuff that you see in them starting to start fights in it, that you show that you're gaining. I'm an analyzer. Show that you're gaining power. So literally what you need to do is, it shows that you're gaining power and influence. What you remember, like I said, what you need to do is you need to discredit the person before they even open their mouth. As a good scam artist, that's what I actually did. And the reason why that they're doing is this. Hey, I was sitting there saying the big fighting and the infighting, it does tear us up. But it shows that that's part of the learning process and the growth process, because when a movement starts to happen, it's going to be fighting and then fighting in that. And that's why it's that. And that's what others come to do to break it up, because they realize that this thing has power. Unfortunately, that can actually, be the tipping point. We don't know what that tipping point is. We don't know. Eventually, that tipping point is going to be reached, and then it's going to be fast. So, as a person it's going to be really fast. You're going to see a big change like immediately. Like one of these days, you're going to look up to where, I know you probably never thought it, but where women are going to come out and say shit and nobody's going to believe them. I mean, like, it could be true. People are just going to be like, eventually it's going to, you can see that the movement's already, the pendulum starting to swing back the other way. Sooner or later, they're going to open their mouth and people are going to be like, yeah, right. Their credibility is shot. It's on the line.
Look. The credibility is shot, but they don't seem to care about that.
Well, that's because they still have the laws and protection and government and shit in place. But eventually that stuff is falling too.
So as long as they are able to receive that, don't you think that they'll put up a fight to not give it up?
Yeah, of course they will. But wait a minute, this is the problem. Listen. Right, they will put up a fight. But here's the question. If the government wants the men to participate and they don't, they need us more than that. I mean, no offense, men put more into the system than they do. If the men just say, well, fuck it, we won't do this or we'll live in this.
Men put more into the system more than they do. Men put more child support into the system. Like, look, man, we have to get people to stop fucking people that, aren't worth a shit. This is
and they're doing that.
This is what it seems like to me. This is the simplest solution that you can come up with in order to get this problem solved. I mean, shit, just don't fuck them bitches, man.
And unfortunately, it's working. Like, remember, I told you, this house that I'm in right now, let me turn this house that I'm in right now, right? Now, the boy I'm mentoring that is in the house now, you see this is a pretty nice house. Guess how old he is? Guess how old he is?
How old is it?
20.
20 years old? 20 years old is not that old.
No, he just bought it to turn it into a business.
Oh, okay.
20 years old. That's pretty good for a 20-year-old. $250,000 house.
Oh, he's 20 years old.
20 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah. These guys coming up are smarter and they have more resources and more information at their disposal. Yeah, of course you're gonna see them getting younger and going to see them going after stuff like this.
He's 20. Go ahead. No, he's 20 years old. Every time I say something, he's sitting there taking notes, asking questions, this, that, and the other. Is he running around chasing? Oh, he even says the same thing. Most of these women ain't got nothing. He's running around chasing. I mean, dude's gonna be worth $5 million by 25. I can tell already. He pays attention to too many older men that are leading him in good directions. He's gonna be worth $5 million by the time he's 25. Like, literally, if anybody knew if you was a smart woman, you better do whatever. Hey, baby, I can do whatever to help you. This man's gonna be worth worth it.
How many women have how many women are fighting against, like, according to many of us, fighting against being with guys like that because they have control and agency over their lives. I mean, we can say all day, you better hop on somebody like that, and somebody will. But how do we know
Yeah.
if that's going to be the right person or the wrong person if they know what he's about?
Well,
A high value man at the age of 20. That
yeah,
guy's going to be, if that guy knows what's good for him, he'll wait it out and,
yeah. Well, he said
and
he's
build
not
himself
trying to
as
have.
a
Look,
man.
look, he's very disciplined. Like, just give an example, because, like I said, it's probably in about 2 hours you'll hear my phone ring because he gets up every morning at 3:30 in the morning to start his workout routine and all. Very disciplined. I told him, I said, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I was disciplined at you at that age, and had the information, but I told him, I said, don't even worry, man. Everything that I can teach you, I'm gonna let you know. And I told him, I said, I even told him to check out some of our content creators, listen to some of these other men in the space and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, cool. I'll check it out. He's really willing to learn. And fortunately, we've shown a lot of younger men the space is helping because they're not making the same mistakes we made. They're realizing they're getting their stuff together first. They're, doing what they need to do so they can live life how they want to.
Yeah, because we're tired of being a mistake people. That's what I'm saying. We're
Yeah, yeah,
tired of being.
they're changing the status quo. I mean, you don't want, how often do you want to sit up here and say, "Oh God," the line stops with us. They're realizing, they're seeing what we did, and they say, "Hey, man, listen to these people. They're coming out telling us they're taking L's to be talked about just to give us the information. Don't
Okay.
make the same mistakes we did.
Okay. Let
Look
me
out
read.
for these." Good.
Let me read what Hybrid's saying, and we're gonna let BGS, who just got up here, I'll let him have the floor. He said, "Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power says black men are voting with their feet. Most black men are single and childish. Fertility clinics are running out and your in dire need of black DNA." All right,
Yep.
so BGS Itmore, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm just weighing in. I'm catching up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as far as I mean, and Drake can tell you, man. Okay, what was the and I've actually said it in my 1.0 versus 2.0 um, video. If anybody ever watched it, right, is that um, and Dre can tell because Dre's been around for a long time, and Dre, when I first started my hangouts, Dre used to show up, right, and Obsidians and mine and a couple others, right,
Mm-hmm.
and Dre can tell you, okay, from when we started in 2015, man, there was virtually a wasteland as far as
Mm-hmm.
content creators, as far as information. There was Tommy on one side that got all the
Mm-hmm.
attention, and the rest of the black manosphere, nobody even knew about
Yeah.
it for the most part. Okay.
Yeah, like don't I say it all the time. If Tommy wouldn't have probably fell out with me
Yeah.
back in the day, because it would probably be a Soto Nation thing with us talking like that.
Yeah.
Because I was the first one to bring people together, talk about these hardish, like all the stuff you talked about, talked about it, ran in shows. The main thing with our show back then was, all your opinions would be challenged. We wouldn't do no personal attacks. That was the rules. And then Tommy fell out with me, and it was like he thought I was trying. My thing was I was just trying to get the men together. And I'm like, go ahead, you do the raunchy stuff, and I'll do the calm stuff. That way they can see, well, look, they got a raunchy side, and we got Dre on the calm side, but it's the same people. They
Yeah.
probably, like half of your Manosphere creators probably would have been with Tommy because they would have came for me. Because I was actually trying to bring people together back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Because really was no black manosphere. Even
Right.
Jason Black was just you know basically a basic commentator. He wasn't big. Okay, it was
Nope.
very small and very tiny, and it was nothing, virtually nothing here when I came over here because I came over from MGTOW. Okay, and I fell out with the MGTOWs because they didn't want us to talk about race stuff or race specific stuff, and I said I'm here to help black men. If I'm gonna be in here, I'm here to black men that look like me. So that's how come Atagon Force that created Itmore, me, Truth 40, and Black Ram, who's still here. He's big board number 3. I'm big board number 4. We came over here and said we're going to just start a talking about uh, um, black black man issues from a black perspective because black women and our relationship with them are different than the white people. Okay, that's why I came over here. But there wasn't nothing here, man. Me, Obsidian, and Valdez all pretty much showed up at the same time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and Valdez was still in his car. Okay, doing the videos in his car.
Yeah.
And Obsidian was
Yeah.
basically on Blog Talk, still. He had doing
Well,
web
there
on
you go.
Blog
Yeah.
Talk. And basically, so we all came here. Don Clipser found me, said, "Hey, Obsidian, you need to talk to this guy." Okay. And then Char Willie found me and said, at Valdez, you need to talk to this guy. So we all kind of teamed up. And the reason O'Shea came to the space is because he borrowed something that I came up with, which is an upgradable 6. Okay. He started using it and he gave me credit, and that's how all of these people started meeting up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing here. And our approach, there's 3 things we're built on, right? To continue what we call 1.0 was doing, which is basically pushback, right? The clap back, right? 2, which is what Obsidian says, okay? Bring black women back to the table for a heart-to-heart discussion. We weren't talking. Black women were not talking to us. Okay, you see it now. It's all over. We call it the purple pill space. It was all.
Right.
It was all over. It's all over the place now. But there was
Right.
nothing like that in
They were
2050.
talking
I
down
mean,
to it.
they're talking down to us. They said, "Y'all ain't
Right.
shit. It's never going to go anywhere. Nobody pays attention to you. You're the laughing stock of YouTube." Even the white guy said, "You're the laughing stock of YouTube. You're so tiny, and your message is going nowhere." Right? And so, and the third thing was to actually get these issues and talking points out into the public square to where it can actually be discussed. It actually get some momentum, actually change it or whatever, right? It has to be discussed widely, right? We 2.0, especially after Kevin died, achieved all 3 of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we set out for, all 3 of those things. I asked Sauchi, okay, who's the finance guy in Washington D.C., right? How much would it cost to take a
Yep.
small entity like the Black Manosphere and
Mm-hmm.
make it not only nationally prominent to where it's in the mainstream, but also globally prominent where it's in the global mainstream? How much would it cost? They said it costs about $3 billion from start
Mm-hmm.
to finish, and probably take you about 20 years, right? We did it on pennies in less than 8.
Right. Well, I
So in
tell
other
them
words,
all the time.
so a lot of people inside the space, we shit on the space. Y'all ain't done nothing. Outside of this space, they're saying, how the fuck did these black dudes do this shit?
Right. I tell people that's how Achilles healed, and they don't realize that's basically, as a former scam artist, the fighting and stuff like this lets you know that it's working.
Yes, you're fighting
I
them.
tell people, the fighting and stuff like this is why it's called growing pains.
Yeah.
It's to let you know that the shit is working. The shit is working. Like remember, as you see, every time y'all see me, where am I doing? I'm working in a house somewhere, right? As you see right now.
Yeah.
But remember, I was a content creator in the beginning making content. And I remember I'd come do my 12 hours here and I try to do 8 or 9 hours. And people say, well, damn, Dre, why are you trying to do something? Because I realized that even the people who were around in the chat and all like that, having a place for the men to go was more important.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would never thought that I could sit up here and now I can sit back and just be a panelist and do what I really like to do. But now it's plenty of channels I could go to.
Yeah.
You know? I never thought that it would be like this, that quickly.
Yeah.
And then to hear TV shows, and you could be like, wait a minute, what he said and how he said it, you could tell he listened to our shit.
Shit, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, How Value Man was not a topic until Kevin Samuels actually brought it out from the Black Manosphere.
But not
It was
even
not
the
a
fact
topic.
of that. Like, think about it.
You have people, you have different groups all over the world using the same concept. How much would it cost to actually have your ideas pushed out globally like that?
Right.
You look at BLM. It took Soros for Soros to with BLM. It took him like 10 years and $10 billion to push that message out.
Yeah, they got some houses.
It's like everybody put a chip in. It's like we did it with just blood, sweat, and tears and no money.
And no money. And people try to tear it apart from inside and out.
Well, right. Well, here's the question. And when you sit up here and say, well, when black women sit up here and say, well, y'all ain't built shit. Well, motherfucker, we built this place that you fighting against.
Yes.
Hand me a goddamn hammer, bitch.
Say what?
I was like, hand me a goddamn hammer, bitch. Let's build something. Like, shoot, if y'all want these builders, you should kind of put your son in that direction.
What do you think the Password Bros is all over the news and all the blogs, all the places? Where do you think that came from?
Right.
Where did it come from?
It came from a brother inside the Black Manosphere in 2018. I'm trying to remember his name. But he actually created a hashtag in 2018.
What was it? Say it again. I'll tell you, see if I remember.
Password Bros. I'm trying to remember his name.
Oh,
I can't remember his name right now. If Edward's here, he knows who it is because he actually announced it on Edward's show. Password Bros. Hashtag
Oh, okay.
Password.
You ain't talking about old, not Pablo, right?
No, it's not Pablo.
Yeah,
No, Pablo. A lot of them adopt. A lot of these guys adopted Pat. Well, he was part of it. But I have to give Pablo credit. He was one of them, even before it blew up.
yeah, and like, just give an example. The reason why Tommy hated the space so much is because Tommy realized he fucked up. Tommy realized if he would have been more cordial.
Oh yeah. There's when he says King Sigma.
He would have had like literally Soto Nation would have been a worldwide name.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
I got both of them up here, y'all. Edward Anderson and BGS.
Let me just explain where Passport Bros came up because it was actually through Edward that we actually heard the hashtag.
I just came here to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, but what up, Edward? How you been holding up, bro? For real, on some serious shit.
Hold on 1 second, I got this YouTube shit in the background.
Oh, okay.
You got a bad connection. Yeah, it was King Sigma. It was actually on Ed. I remember it on Edward's show that it actually came through. He was
also, I don't mean to be an asshole, but since niggas want to talk shit about me, I'm going there. Why? Let me say this, because obviously you have a right to give whoever a wrench you want to. So let me say that first. But and I appreciate you reaching out. I actually got a really heartfelt email from somebody on the 11th that his mom passed. So whoever, shout out to him. I didn't catch that because he sent it on what I got a lot of Edward Anderson emails. Like I do, a number and MK. I'm not even gonna say which one, but yeah, he sent it on one of my earlier ones. So I found it. He sent it on 11. It was a very long, heartfelt one. I guess his mom passed a year ago. And it was, kind of under similar circumstances. So, I appreciate stuff like that. But I do got to say this, and I know you said I'll listen to some of the stuff you were saying. And you did say that you didn't watch, you wasn't looking at the chat. You didn't do that until like right before you pulled up. And I know you skipped. Why does but there's somebody, I ain't gonna say why does this person, there's somebody in there that they want to talk shit about. I got Mr. Potato Head face, I look like a chicken nugget, all that, and they got a wrench.
Conversation off with this effort, but go ahead.
I'm not saying that like I'm trying to put you on the spot. I'm just saying that because here's my issue with that. Not like even with you, but I'm talking about overall in the context of stuff you're saying. We're all grown. Most of us are not in our 20s. And you got to do, and if you don't like me for whatever reason, that is y'all right to not like me. The question, and I heard what you said about me living rent-free in people's heads, because Lord knows, I don't even think I'm that important, truth be told. But my thing is, when you were showing people, it's like this reaction of, well, this nigga look like this nigga cars broke. How about this? How about you actually say something that has the fuck to do with what I say? That's what kills me about, like, it's like dudes want to talk about, they want to say everything but any of the talking points that I say. That's the shit that kills me.
At work, but see, that goes on to what we were saying. The reason is this. I can't kill the talking point, so I got to talk about you.
Well, no, and I hear that, but this is just a point that
wait. Before you go off on it, before you go off on a tangent, remember, I can't kill the talking points. The only thing I can do is talk about you.
I understand that. But what's good? But Dre, but here's the thing. Inevitably, and this happened with Dennis Sperling, this happened with Ron Wills, by the way, too, because he was one of the first ones that have to really do their own thing. What happens is, and I'm, is people just say, fuck it. And then it's kind of like, people say they need a space, but at the end of the day, the relationships I have with people have nothing to do with the Black Manosphere. Like, I could literally say, fuck the Black Manosphere. And there's really nobody I couldn't have access to that's a part of it. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is, if we're talking about the integrity of a group, at some point, even the audience are going to have to act like they got some goddamn sense. Because what's happened is the trolling, because that's what everybody dismisses it on. It's been allowed to like go really crazy. And I don't know how other people run their shit, but I know it's only certain shit that people can get away with on my shit. Like even with Obsidian. Let's take
Let give him another minute. Go ahead. Finish up.
Well, all I'm saying is let's just give Obsidian an example. Obsidian is somebody that, you know, he goes rogue, he does his own thing. He has crossed the line a few times. BGS knows that. We all know that.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time he crossed the line with me when he added Tamir Rice in the name of Park Apeism, and then I had to unsubscribe from him. But even and you know, he's gotten his hits when he tried to bring Danica Marie into space and got flamed for that. Obviously, the Pearl situation is the most recent. And so with him, I'll let people kind of go at him a little bit when it comes to certain talking points. But when they get into the crazy shit, the personal shit, I tell even people that donate to me, and I'm not saying this to saying that's what you should do. I'm just giving an example. I check them real quick saying, look, you're not going to just completely shit. My channel is not a channel that you can come to shit on somebody. If you want to shit on somebody, you go to their platform and shit on them, and then they'll handle it the way they want to handle it. The problem, and this is where my point is, the problem with me is I literally have 600 people blocked on my shit. And I have that many because you have people that they create troll account after troll account, troll account after troll account. And then I bet they basically ran out of troll accounts. It's multiple people. And so what they do is they look for other platforms. Like I'll give you an example. Bernard is actually a really favorite one to do this, but Bernard is starting to catch on to this. Where they'll go or they'll look for these platforms to start talking shit to people that maybe they ain't paying attention to it. They want to let them talk. And then if you shut it down, what happens? Kev, they talk about you don't let me talk, you don't do this, you don't do that, and because their need to be here is really just to shit on people. They don't contribute anything positive to what the space is. Okay. And yeah, so it's just in order for us to protect this space for other people, we are going to have to be a lot more ruthless about that, saying it is a privilege to comment in these chats. It is a privilege to come on these panels. You can disagree all you want to, and you can call people out on their talking points all you want to. But if you being north of 30, I'm talking about most of these people, you act like you don't know how to talk to another man. And I'm going to say this and I'm done. Let's be clear here, Kevin. If we was in a barbershop, do you think a lot of people would say a lot of shit they would say if we was in a barbershop? No, they would be under better behavior, even if they disagree. Because it's not that I might get up and do something to you. Depending on what you say, somebody else might.
Okay.
For instance, you got people talking about my dead mama, talk about Edward Anderson's mama burning. This hasn't happened in your chat, but it happens in other people's chats. And my point in saying that,
you're shorting it up, Ed.
I'm about to shorten it up. My point in saying that is, I won't get to you. Somebody else would, because you may be triggering somebody else. And that crap really needs to be checked because it's gone way too much at this point. We're talking about it too much.
Let me help you out here, brother. Remember, see, when I first doing content, I was using my full government name. So everybody knew who I was. You know, I got the name Judge Dre from somebody else. You know, somebody they was giving to me, basically from, you know, people who watch me. But one of the things I want to tell you, they're going to talk about you. I had a gentleman, but that was like back then, make a whole video on my son, because y'all know my son used to live with me. And literally, Slapper did a video like dogging my son for like 15, 20 minutes. And, you know, everybody see my son online, all that else crap, like literally. It comes with the space. When you step up to take this type of that, it just comes. So I'll let you know, when you're doing good like that, expect the personal attacks. Expect family members and friends to get that, because they realize that, wait a minute, I can't attack your viewpoint or your talking points or what it is, but I can attack your family members. I can attack you.
But Drake, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. Okay. People have this idea. There's a difference between Tommy fucking Sotomayor that basically lives for the smoke and he's making money off this shit. Nigga, this is charity for me. And I don't believe Kev makes a whole bunch of money off this either. I don't either. I can speak for myself. This is charity. I put like damn near job worth of shifts on this shit. Like when it comes to who I'm on other people's stuff as well as my own stuff, I don't get paid for that. So my thing is, you know, my point is, and it ain't even about me. Niggas are just leaving. So guess what? You're not going to have a space because let's be real here. Is it really that hard to block somebody? Is it really that hard to de-rent somebody? Is it really that hard to report a channel? You know, report like people want to create troll accounts. It ain't no, well, we're just like when people, you got niggas literally creating accounts of me. And then you got other content creators thinking I'm doing shit. And then they're making videos based on that, talking about I got man breasts and shit. So it's kind of like if you charge it to like that, most of us in this space do not make enough money to justify dealing with that shit. When they can just take their ass to another form of YouTube, I can just focus on my affiliate marketing where I deal with none of this shit. In fact, so it's not about, and dude, people always, hold on, people have always been talking about me. So this is not about this, that's been happening. So this idea that, oh, it's just new now and I just need to deal with it. No, I just won't be here anymore. And then you got all these motherfuckers. When BGS left. Hold on, I'm gonna shorten it up. When BGS left, then because they were talking about his kids, these people lost their mind. BGS decided to come back. And so the reality is what you go have is not a space. That's what's gonna happen. Because people don't want to check other people.
But Edward, bro, I'm gonna let you know they're doing it before then. They're gonna continue to do that. I mean, that no offense, bro, that ain't going away. That I hate to say, you think that it's not like now. It's like we always start getting traction back then with something. We about to go through. You about to go through the
really not hearing what I'm saying.
Let him. He let you talk. You got to let him get it out.
I mean, you about to go through the biggest fight in your fucking life now. You know why? Because people are fucking paying attention around the world.
The problem is you got internal people doing this.
Listen, don't sit up here and get mad because the niggas doing this shit now. No offense, it's a last ditch effort to go ahead and end this shit. So why? But by you quitting, that's how they win.
Well, then they're gonna win. Because dude, I'm not even, they gonna win then. Because dude. Because the thing of like, think about that. I want you to really think about what you said. That's how they're gonna win. Let me ask you something. How does this shit benefit me? Why isn't it that you don't got a whole host of content creators? Hold on. I'm not Martin Luther King. I'm not Malcolm X. I'm not dying for you niggas. Like, what do you like, dude? I got, hold on. I literally have 3,000 videos with almost an hour a spot. This shit don't fall down if I'm not in it. But if ever, so my point is, it's kind of like it's like you're hearing, well, you because that's what other people are saying too. Don't let them win. What the fuck are you like? Seriously, really think about what you think.
We'll let him answer it because he has a different
Listen, it's Edward. Like you said, no offense. If you say, oh, God, if I leave this place, and guess what? Well, guess what, nigga? I hate to say that something. I'm just gonna say it like that. They beat your ass. It is what it is. I mean,
how did they beat me?
God damn it, Edward. If you don't shut the fuck up for a minute.
Hey, come on, y'all.
Bro, I'm just saying like this, man. Hey, you said some people ain't equipped for that fight. Maybe, unfortunately, brother, man, you're not equipped for that fight. It's not saying anything bad about you, but some people ain't equipped for that fight.
So why aren't you a content creator?
Some people cannot live with what's going to go on and the consequences of whatever's going on. And
so why the fuck are you not a content creator?
I don't, because I don't have the time. If you see, I love my house. But I was doing it in the beginning when it was, no offense, before it was anything. I never got a dime. All the money I got gave to Tommy. I was doing it before then. After going 12 hours work, coming home, falling asleep on streams, all that shit, bro. So for you to sit up here and say that, wait, what? Everybody knows my full government name. They try to get my baby mamas on shows. What? You expect it comes with that job. And like I said, the
thing that's really annoying me about what you're saying is the integrity of this. See, if we're just gonna come up with some let's drop our balls on the table, dude, better people than me have already said fuck it. Let's take Ron Wills for example. Ron Wills still has all his shit. Ron Wills just don't associate with the space. Same thing with Dennis, to the point where Dennis actually attacks the space because of the stuff that he's had to deal with. So it's not that. So when you say beat him, it's really what people really want you to do is get you not to associate with the black manosphere. It ain't even about nobody winning. I'm actually on you. Hold on, I'm on YouTube and other stuff. But so even to approach that from a Martin Luther King, we're getting trade. Well, this is not. And number one, you keep on making it mediocre. Like people are talking, just talking, and that's what's being annoying. That's not what that is.
It comes with it. I mean, people posting my address. They know exactly where I live. All of that
and you
crap.
really think this bullshit is worth all of that?
Unfortunately, yes.
So, and that's why motherfuckers be getting their heads blown off in the rap game.
Yes, unfortunately,
in
yes.
the rap game.
I know,
Bro,
but I'm saying
bro,
we got to
it
be
have
careful
to
what
be.
you say on this channel, okay? You know, YouTube. Okay?
Well, I'm just talking. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
speaking
you know,
of a statistical thing that
yeah,
happens with.
yeah, but you know,
Okay, I'll call it West Coast, East Coast violence.
Thank you.
Bro,
Thank you.
But my point is, and it's kind
unfortunately,
of like, and I can tell you're not hearing me. You're just, and that's the problem.
I
You're
don't
not
think you
hearing each,
understand
you're
that.
not
Without
hearing each other. You're not
serious-
hearing each other. That's what's happening.
No, I'm hearing what he's saying. The
No,
reality is, I regulate. Hold on, I regulate my shit. Dudes and my shit. That's a big reason why I'm not liked in this space. Because when they start talking shit about somebody else, I ask them, okay, what's the issue? If they actually have a credible actually reason, then we talk about it. Even if it's with me. It was one time I was talking about helping my mom, right? And then a dude like was really going off. He wasn't saying that it's completely disrespectful, but he was just really going off.
Yeah.
And I basically, and it's funny because we basically said, so what's up? And I did the thing where I said, what's the issue in the chat? And he was typing it. His mom wasn't shit. And he went into detail on certain things. And I sincerely said, dude, I am sorry for that. And there are a lot of ain't shit moms. And this is why I always say, do not look at you got to look at your mother from an adult perspective. Do not like lionize her and assess it. And then he actually calmed down off of that because he realized I got it. And I said, truth be told, if my mom would have did the shit you talking about, I wouldn't have helped her either. And I gave him stories of conversations I've had in situations I had. And then he's actually a good subscriber. So it's not on some, you say something I don't like, or if it kind of comes off a certain way, I'm like, F it. And people in my chat were trying to time him out. I said, don't time him out. But then you got that. And then you got motherfuckers that they get blocked. All of a sudden, they want to see me on a panel. All of a sudden, because they want to say I'm a bitch or say I'm zesty on every panel I go. Now, these are niggas that are better than me. They got so much more shit to do than I do. But yet, everywhere I go, literally it's to the point now, niggas talk about me on shit I'm not even on. And this has happened with Art of Igmore, AB. And so, Kev, I'm not like singling you out. What happens is, and that you see it. That's why you said people in retreat. I'm not even on these places, not chatting either. And people are literally like, it's literally that obsessive. And you would think as men, you would be like, why do you have such like an issue with this dude? Well, because he's zesty. And okay, cool. Let's say he's zesty. Why are you obsessed with a nigga that's zesty? Let me get, and nobody's asking that. Niggas are just charging it up to letting them talk. Yeah, people are going to talk shit. We don't have to let them talk, though. That's my point.
Okay, I understand where you're going at, Deborah, but I'm just saying this. Look at it as a compliment. I know
when we let them talk, we're actively encouraging it.
Well, the thing is, and this is the way it should work, right? Okay. And it goes to my channel too. If I allow shit on my channel that you do not like on a consistent basis, you should not watch me.
All right.
And I say that for people that allow shit on their channel that I do not like, and if I respect you, I'll let you know. Okay. I'll let you know that, hey, I'm seeing this shit. I'm not liking it. I'm not like being here, blah, blah, blah. And if you want to address it, you can, but I'm giving you the opportunity, guys, to make a decision, right? Okay. I did that with Kev. Most time I don't even say shit. I just ghost and I never come back.
Right.
I only do that. Like Kev, like I said, I like Kev. I like the habitual line steppers. That's why I take that extra step. But most people, hey, you know what? You're blocked, you unsubscribe, whatever, and I never come back.
And another guy I want to bring up, and I had a conversation with him. He's reached out to me, and he's one of the few dudes that has my phone number. So a shout out to him. And he's like, I put him in the same camp as Grown Man Business. He has his critiques of the space. He has his worldview. It's Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero has his critiques. Yeah. He has his point of view. It's very strong. He stays in his lane. Sub-Zero kind of talks, but he really don't talk about women like that. He never really did, but he'll engage in the conversations. But he focused on, pull yourself up, stuff like that. He's very successful. Shout out to him. He helps other black men get into IT. Now all of a sudden he's a grifter. Now all of a sudden, he's because of one dude that he actually had an interview with Bernard at 7:00 today, or yesterday, whatever. Yeah. So check that out if you want to hear it. And there was a video before that where So my point is, if people want to say, okay, you talk about women too much, cool. That's a valid criticism.
Yeah. You know what, Ed? I would understand it if Sub-Zero had not been in this space for years and years and years and years. And the people talking about it have not known about Sub-Zero for years and years and years and years. Right. So you're going to take an opinion of one guy on one show against a guy that you've known in this space doing what he does for years and years and years.
Right. And that's and my point is that's intentional. So now Sub-Zero is really he said it on his stuff and it is known. He's doing his own because he lost his channel. So he go hard because he go hard with the LGBT and stuff. So they snipped his channel when he got up 17. And he's somebody that is verified receipts as far as he's got money. He's not one of these niggas that can't get chicks. Verified. He's married to a black woman with a kid. He put her through her like probationary period because he didn't marry her at first. I know BTS was mentioning that, and he had a kid later, at 41. So he lived it. My point is all of the shit people try to say about me don't apply to him. And he helps other black men get into IT. And do it the right way and not just sell them support. Niggas are talking shit about him. So it's always a reason.
Yeah. Like Theo and the Sub-Zero. Y'all known about these dudes for years.
Yeah.
You've been to their program, you know what they like, you know what they teach, but then all of a sudden now because you don't like something that one guy said, you're gonna shit on this program. And you know that dude.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you look at like his growth, because I'm not gonna tell his business, but I mean, dude is like really blown up. And he had this thing with Kevin, and he actually had a legitimate like gripe with Kevin on some other shit, but he let it go and he focused on himself a lot. And what I see is the argument is, and I'm gonna really encapsulate. This is what people want. What they want in their mind, just to bring it back to what's appropriate to your show, Kevin, you're trying to have today. What they want, Kev, is they want me, BGS, and people to say, fuck the black manosphere, we don't associate it with. Because in their mind, we're the leaders of the black manosphere. And if we just say, F it, somehow, all of a sudden, they're going to look for other people in there. And that's got to be what it is. Because when I look at like certain people that get played, unless they got my name in their mouth or BGS, and usually it's both, nobody's listening to them. Now, y'all know people listen to me when I put ... on my shit, and it ain't got, and let me explain why that is. It is because I've been around for so long. A lot of people remember me from the Coliseum. They remember me for Angry Man stuff. They remember me from O'Shea stuff. And a lot of my people a long time. And over time, I've gained about 1,000 subscribers a year. That is not massive growth. And so just like with Jason Black doesn't grow exponentially, but he has a strong core audience, obviously at a much bigger level than I do, but that's what it is. And so when people get mad about like why it is, it's because I put the time in. I didn't even monetize my stuff until like 3 years ago. So my point is, it's not even about me because I know what I'm going to fucking do. I don't even care. But the thing is, I'm not the only one on this. You got a lot of people that's like, F it. Like, look at Dennis. They kept calling Dennis a Mexican and shit. That didn't have to happen. Nobody checked that. And now Dennis is like literally an unnecessary enemy because he's so mad. It's like, we don't check this shit. And it's people that don't show their face. It's people that they don't even put a avatar on their shit. And it's really kind of like, yo, some of y'all audience members gonna have to earn your, it don't even be, notice how, Kev, notice how none of these niggas that cause this shit donate. It ain't like it's people that donate that's talking this shit. Those are usually the best ones. It's the motherfuckers, they don't contribute nothing to the shit at all. It's a reality show to them. They don't need to be here.
All right, Edward, here, let me help you with something out here. Just give an example. I was sitting here laughing when I said they don't check the shit. That's why me and Tommy fell out. Me and Tommy fell out because people came and they was dissing him on some things he said, and I didn't take his back. Unfortunately, you have to remember that some people are going to talk about you, and unfortunately, I don't even recommend nobody to sit up here and take somebody's back, period. Let them fight their own battles. When it's somebody is trolling the comments or somebody like that, let them fight their own battles. Because I think that divides us more than anything. Don't sit up here and get upset because, hey, wait, listen. I'm on the show, say I'm good on you. And then BGS and Kevin don't have, don't say, hey, Drake, no, whatever. You fight your own battles. And I think that's a problem that we've had because that has soured so many relationships.
Yeah, I used to.
I agree with that to a point.
I used to do that on the Coliseum all the time when guys have an issue with somebody that wasn't there. I said, you got 2 minutes to get your point out, but the thing is, if he's not here, then I'm not going to allow it.
I agree with that to a point. I agree with that to a point because Drake, even you as an example, I'll use you as an example. There was a time we was on a Kev show where you was about, I don't know, you may have had a bad day. These things happen. And look, I get it. You pay child support. You didn't came out of a lot of raw shit. Like, so I get it. But we didn't let you just empty the clip out on that shit. They didn't come. They came to legitimately want to talk, not on some stupid, I'm going to hang around till I find my opening and do some dumb stuff. We didn't want to pull you back from that. But we both did. We did it in the most respectful way possible because you were revving up and really starting to empty the clip on this unsuspecting chick. And that was a chick. And it wasn't, the conversation didn't lead to that. Now, it wasn't like on some, okay, we enemies for life. We didn't disrespect you. We didn't like sun you and that was more Kev that like, because it was his platform. But it was like we handled it so we could reset the conversation. But at the same time, you have people that they're making shit up. They don't have legitimate gripes. They're making shit up. It's I don't like you and I want you on YouTube. I want you off of YouTube. And nigga, I've been damn near off of YouTube. Like there's literally not a single video on my fucking channel up now. And you got people. So it really ain't about none of that.
Come with the territory, bro. I mean, think about how many people. Like I sit here and laugh. Like one of the things I always say, if there was anything I could do for black men, say before you became a YouTube content creator, I'd say you need to have about 500 hours in of online gaming. And I'm talking like shit like Call of Duty, that type of shit like there, where there's like 20, 30 of y'all. Like literally, you have to realize that some of this shit, some people ain't built for it. Like you got to be really built for it to take a lot of criticism, a lot of lies, a lot of bullshit. I mean, and that's why I tell you, you got to play the online games. After a while, you be called nigga by so many kids that are like
I've been criticized by only BGS and a couple other dudes been criticized more than me, especially at my side. At my side. Now, it's one thing if you're angry man or something, but at my size, very few have been criticized more than me.
Okay, but go ahead. I'm gonna tell you, Edward, you got shit. I tell you, I had one of the biggest content creators that put the space on me come after me. So you ain't near, no offense, nigga. I had Solo Nation after me. You ain't seen criticism.
Dude, like the problem is, see, the reason why I don't like where you're going with this is because essentially what you're saying is I'm fucking whining. That's really how you ain't saying it, but you kind of saying it.
Well, I'm kind of saying it.
And what you're failing to understand is this is why black men can't work together because there's no rule. There's no rules with it. Dude, what? And it's telling me you're not even hearing like what what I'm saying is very simple.
Brother. I've been there, done that. No offense, I'm not old school trying to let you do that. Been there, done that. It comes with the space.
It comes with the space.
You ain't gonna be a content creator in the sense separate unscathed.
So you asked, that's not what I'm saying though. That is not what I am saying.
I know, but we're gonna have to wrap this up because we've been like 30 minutes on this.
No, really, yeah, it's 30 minutes, and this is actually my point.
I understand, but we have to. The thing is, this Kev show, we spent 30 minutes on it. Make your points, and let's move on to something.
My point is, on Kev's show, we had this blow up over this fucking list. This is why we had a blow up. Because now it's popular for everybody to say fuck the space because that shit is not being checked when it could have been checked. That's the problem. And you're not gonna have one. And then it's like that's really where we're at.
Cats aren't permitted to defect though.
I mean, y'all act like this space can't all of a sudden disappear. I mean, really, let's go down the list.
Okay.
Like, really, who actually contributes to the space?
Let Kev say something because you know, like I give people plenty of time to speak what they got to speak. I make this a territory for look. Here's one thing. I'm not gonna ever dream of telling anyone how to use their channel. You know what to do their content on, and who to wrench up and who not to wrench up. I'm not doing that. I give everybody a chance. If someone says something about you, you say something about them back. Words on words. That's how it is. And Edward, I understand, bro, that you are going through something, but this is why people say shit like, "Oh, Kev over here on his channel being sunned," or this is why they say stuff like subscriber supremacy. You know, which is bullshit.
What the fuck is that?
Haters, you know, but them niggas that always got the black manosphere in their fucking mouth.
Right.
You know, yeah, I have said more things in defense of this space, and I have said more things to allude to the fact that I think, quite frankly, that making broadcast after broadcast after broadcast after broadcast after broadcast after broadcast about one or two content creators, and let's not beat around the bush. Edward Anderson and BGS get lots of mentions. They get lots of mentions. But bruh, you gotta understand, you preaching to the choir right now. This shit you going through right now, I went through 6 years ago on Facebook. I went through 6 years. People didn't want me on YouTube. People, when I first came to YouTube, people were doxing me on Facebook. It's what it is. People have already said, fuck my dead mother. You know what I had to do with those people? I had to turn my backside to their asses and say, hey, you have the option of kissing it. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So I kind of agree with Dre a little bit.
You can agree, and that's absolutely the case.
Let him finish what he has to say.
No. I'm going to agree with Dre a little bit. That shit goes with the territory. I mean, I've been addressing this black manosphere hate. I actually put this smoke show together. So if any of those bastards want to come over here and they got anything to say it to me.
They're not.
This will be, buddy. Damn, I'm not chasing clout by going after a hater. All I'm telling them dudes is to have the balls to come over here and say something, especially when you say my name. I know what it's like to be frustrated, bro. And I know you're going through a very emotionally taxing time. I know you.
The stuff that I'm saying, I said prior to my mom passing, and we just gonna put all the cards on the table. And it's in the record, it's in the telegram. And I was revving this up like way before that. And actually I stopped making videos before that. So this really has nothing to do with that. But what I am, and what one of the things that I was saying, this is not about, like, understand. And I'm just gonna say it. You got people that they can't generate traction. And rather than learning YouTube, rather than buying Elite Attorneys a course or getting on YouTube, go to Roberto Blake, it's free content, how to actually grow. They actually believe they're entitled. They're entitled.
What's the measure unit that is being, you know what I'm saying, used to weigh?
To what?
Subscribers. That's how they.
So what it is
Subscribers is a measuring
really
unit?
Is a measuring unit. Yeah, in this
bro,
space,
it's influence.
Yeah, it's
And
influence.
so there's this
Okay.
idea
Influence,
that
okay.
I have this overwhelming influence that needs to stop. Because that's why everybody is coming after me.
Okay, wait. Influence with what in particular?
Exactly. Okay. So the argument was, to be specific, that I have the ability to control the growth of other channels.
You know what?
When you press them, that's what they say.
Really, they come at Edward to get to me. That's really what it is, right?
That too, but that's what they've also said, that I'm suppressing certain people.
And because they think that Kevin came, because I put Kevin on a mission, and Kevin Samuels actually blew up. They think I'm a gateway to be like him. And I'm not.
And another thing too is a lot of them don't want to go directly at BGS because they understand that there's other people that if they go too hard, they're gonna have to see. I'm not gonna name those people, but these are certain people that even though they don't have a lot of subscribers themselves, you really can't run up on them like maybe you can run up on me.
All right. Well, Ed, do you think that they are trying to dislodge BGS, shame BGS, or what?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
No, they believe that as long as BGS is on YouTube, they can't grow.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
they actually believe that BGS is actively suppressing their channel.
Hold up. Let's unpack that though. Go ahead, Kev. You got it.
You know what? That's very well their problem, because I always say this: you got to create value in your own channel. See, Edward, look at the engagement you have when you turn on a broadcast. I mean, if granted the right topic, you got 300 to 400 people watching. They have a problem with that because they see that number, and they see that number, and then they was like, well, why I'm not doing that number? What do I have to do to get that number up? I mean, my suggestion to them is to, change the way you do things on your channel if you want that.
Now you compare that to when I started doing videos and then I wanted to grow my videos. Did I start complaining? No, I was switching stuff up. But here's another thing, Kevin. I appreciate you letting me get a platform, and I get it. It's your stuff. I still stand 10 toes down on what I said. Because the shit is so serious with me is if I do come back, I made this very clear before I even left, is that I'm going to have to uncut. It's going to be like a one barrier of entry. Meaning if it's certain people, I'm not telling people to do shit. What I'm saying is if it's certain people that they can't let certain people go, I can't fuck with you at all.
Edward,
For instance, I'm going to give you a name. Super Slide's an example. Anybody that fucks with him, I like Nick. I like Nick Taylor. I think he is one of the great dudes in this space. I like the content he does, but I can't mess with Nick. Nick ain't do nothing to me. But if he fucks with him, I can't fuck with him. Now, is everybody on that list? No, there's only a couple people on that list. But people gotta understand that this shit ain't okay. And if it's to the point where I don't fuck with nobody, then so be it. I don't. That's me removing me. Because the thing is, we actively encourage this behavior when on certain people. We do.
I just want to say this to you. I want to give you a compliment while you're here. I'm just going to tell you like this is. One of the people that I've given so much respect to in this space is actually you. And I'm not even going to lie. If I was the other half and I'm trying to hurt the manosphere, I would definitely get your ass out of here. I'm not going to lie. Say, as a person that is a former scammer, first thing I'm going to do, if I can find any chinks in the armor to get you out of here, because no offense, your debating skills and the way you dismantle women is too powerful. So you damn right I'm coming after you if I wanted to get you out of here, because I'm coming after you for a reason, because you're a benefit to the space. If I can get you up, I done took away one of the space's weapons. You are very good at dismantling shit. That's the reason why I can listen to your shit. You are, you can keep right. You kill them hard. That's why I joke with you with the Edward timer and all that shit. But I know if I was going to a conference and I'm going on OWN and I'm about to, people you getting? Edward Anderson off rip.
Here's the problem. I know you've been waiting 10 seconds. I promise.
They better have somebody. Who they gonna have to stand up against that in the actual physical
Here's the problem I have. Here's the problem I have with that. Here's the problem I have with that, Judge. It's not like a problem, but I just want to say it. The way you're talking I would completely let that go if this was external people to the space. Like, let's say somebody is like, even if they're close, like, let's say somebody like, we need to talk. Like, we need
fakes, dude. Come on, look at old man. We already seen that. You got people fakes in the space. I mean, come on now. Look at it like that. Some niggas is fakes.
Preach.
I mean, think about
Okay,
it.
so
We went back at it, but I already know that your ass can debate a motherfucker down to the ground. And for me to
So,
sit
like
there
I
and
said,
say that this nigga ain't useful, I mean, anybody that knows, that does any 5 minutes of research knows that Edward Anderson's debating skills and dismantling shit is very useful. I mean, you dismantle sometimes some shit so bad to where I'm pretty sure some of them bitches are probably sitting at home crying because how fool they looked. That's the reason why they attacking you so much. Your dismantling skills is no offense, nigga. Your dismantling skills is better than me working on houses, nigga.
Dude, it's only one woman who's really been annoying me like really in the last like couple of months. It ain't even women. My issue is if there's external stuff, then everything you would be saying is valid. But that's not what it is. We got people that what they're trying to do. Let me give you an example. I'm sure y'all all got siblings or y'all got cousins. Like Judge, I actually got a lot of family in Ohio. I actually got a lot of family in Warren. You know, I didn't realize how expensive North Carolina has gotten until I started looking at the real estate there. I actually got a lot more family than I thought. And you know, it's a difference between family members having internal disputes, even if they're like really bad, like on some, you know, you fucked with the money, you took the house, but you was on drugs. This is not my situation. Somebody told me this, but you're on drugs and then they die and then they sell it on some bullshit. You know, there's a difference between family having internal disputes, even immediate family having internal disputes, and then like external people having internal disputes. The issue I have with a lot of this is you got people that try to play like, oh, I'm doing this for the manosphere, for where the direction of manosphere needs to go. And what happens is dudes are giving them carte blanche to do that under that, when in reality, shout out to Bernard Riley, he said straight up, you got a lot of anti-manosphere dudes in this space basically using the fact that they're supposedly in a space as a way of getting around dismantling it. So it's not like when you say it's an enemy, it's not an enemy, it's internal people that they need to really be evaluated on do they really fuck with the space.
Sometimes you don't know your enemies. You don't know your enemies. China does it all the fucking time. What do you want to do?
The point is we have people that are against the space in the space. That's the problem.
Well, you're gonna have that.
You just dismantle America from inside.
Oh my God,
bro, that's always gonna.
And that's why black men can't build nothing long term.
No. The thing, look. The thing is, those spaces just can't be frequented by those who are about it. That's all it is. You're gonna have those people present because you got to understand, it's a gold mine. Misandry is a gold mine against the black man.
Dude, like what I'm talking about is I hear what you're saying, but my issue is I'm not talking about like I'm a Wale or we need our FD signifier, which is obvious, right. And I'm a Wale or we need to talk. Where we need to talk, it's like you can agree with how, you know, his content is a benefit because how they are, but you know, he's on more of the purple pill stuff and he's antagonistic to us because he thinks we in a way I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that they say they are in the black manosphere and for the black manosphere, but because they can't influence people to do anything, because dude, I didn't ask for this influence. I just came with my opinion. There's a lot of people that agree. I'm one of the most hated people in this space. So this idea that I just have this influence, I don't know where that comes from, because it's not hard to find somebody trying to hate on me for whatever reason. And it's not like people don't see me to hate on. But my point is, we got to stop letting people be Trojan horses in the space. And it's not just fuck me. I can deal with it until I don't. But when we've lost too many people that actually contribute good things to the space in their own way because that shit doesn't get checked. And my thing is, if somebody has a problem, every problem is not admissible in court. So when you got these motherfuckers, like for real.
Okay,
So a lot of people don't like me. It's because when somebody likes to make something personal and they think my shit is the shit to do it, I say, so what's your issue? Well, I just don't like, Obsidian lives in his house and stuff. So what the actual issue you have with what Obsidian says? Because there's a lot of stuff that have issues with.
Wait. Ed, what is the difference between a critique and hating within the space?
The difference between number one, A, is talking points. But number two, and number two is generally personal. When you start to cross the line in a hating, like I'll give you an example. You can say, I don't let you somebody, let's just go there with me, for example. So it's out. Apparently, I'm an SBE god. That's the main thing they love to say. I shame language, I don't, but this is what they say. That's a legitimate critique. Even if somebody want to say I act zesty. People can say that. Where it starts to cross into hating is when you start saying that not only do I don't like this nigga, I gotta make it my mission for everybody else not to like this nigga. And rather than saying the nigga, talk about the gynocracy or he talk about women too much, what they tend to do is they want to talk about my mannerisms, my voice, everything but the actual things that come out of my mouth. Right. To the point that when you ask them what comes out of my mouth, the only thing they know how to do is give you 3 letters now. SBE. Well, how does Edward SBE? All of a sudden now, Rogish, do you know what SBE energy is? I don't. But apparently I give it off. So anything to not actually address what I say, because I'm going back and forth with a lot of people about what I say and why I say it, they explain it. I do that. I used to do that on my lives all the time. That's one of the reasons why my lives got as long as they were. They generated out. It was me interacting with people after I spent 20 minutes running my mouth. I have no problem with that. But what they do is they do this gossip girl bullshit.
But hold up,
when people say, play what the fuck Kevin said. Did you play? Talk about some YouTube, nigga. Have you ever, Rogish? I'm gonna say this and I'm done. Have you ever heard somebody say be called a YouTube papa or YouTube daddy? Has any of y'all ever heard that?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard. It's used as an insult. It's used.
I'm talking about BGS. Has anybody ever told you you're like my father?
Yeah, there have not. I'm like their father. Actually, who said that? It was actually Cerulean said that years ago, right?
That comes with the territory when you're dispensing game. Cuz get the fuck out here. That's a resonance thing.
In other words, Cerulean told me you're like their YouTube father that didn't have when growing up. That's what he told me.
Okay, okay. So this is my issue with all that. It's like, wait a minute. What about the culture, right? You if you get some game from an older man. The way that respect resonates to you is in the fatherly motherfucking respect, right?
It is. It's supposed to be here.
But Rogish, that's presented as a problem. Kevin, am I lying? That's a video you play, right?
It actually depends on who it's coming from, right? Because I've been told that as a term of endearment by how
I'm black. I'm a whole nigga.
But BGS is one. I need BGS, but you're one guy. But the argument. But Rogish, the argument is that the problem with this space is we got a lot of YouTube daddies here, which is code for niggas with influence. And apparently we're stunning the growth of the whole space.
Don't have to play the game then. I mean, what the fuck? Look.
The people throwing rocks because they're peeing on a tall building because they can't be as high. That's all.
So with BGS, they saying BGS is trying to be, basically they accuse BGS of being a closet Dr. Umar Johnson.
A closet Umar Johnson.
You trying to sell niggas back into dealing with black women, single mothers, under the guise of let's do, because the experiment was another big deal.
But they're saying is we should not talk about Keisha and all and stop talking about women and detract.
Well, they don't have to. Why do they say we? Why don't they just create their own shit and do their own shit?
Because they don't have anything. That's why.
I mean, the truth is, we don't just like this argument that we just talk about Keisha. These niggas are never nowhere to be found when we're talking about anything else.
The whole claim about skills and resources and trying to get guys skills and resources actually blown up when they came at Sub-Zero and Theo Waff. Okay, after that, basically, your whole argument just blew up. into shit because you're not.
Yeah, and that's why I pointed that out, because Sub-Zero has had his own critiques of various people. Sub-Zero critiques BGS, me and Sub-Zero has been back and forth. So shout out to Grown Man Business. So I'm trying to establish that you can critique the hell. Even We Need to Talk and Amawale. This idea of people having critiques and it can go hardcore. I mean, that's not the issue. The issue is we have this fucking.
You know what it comes down to, and I wish I could find the video where it actually happened, where because the Black Brain Trust came out of my first couple hours on my what we call the Coliseum, right? So they went and made their own stuff, right? And I was on there one time just to chop it up with him, and they all jumped on me, right, all at one time, and they said, "We don't need you. And our message and our method is superior to yours." And I said, okay, go prove it in good health.
Okay.
Here's another argument that was made, bro.
Now they're back, okay, begging for help. Well, go ahead.
Here's another argument, Rogish. Another argument is that when we share people's platforms, we're doing some Darth Sidious bullshit where down the road we want to collect on that. We're like, there's always something to do. It's nothing but 2 buttons, and I literally type, what to do. Yeah. When like what do you talk like? But this is the argument. Wait
a minute. So who here makes content exclusively for the space?
Right.
I mean, and my channel is exclusively for
mine is too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right then. Well, now if you make content that is
I'm just gonna have another channel
for the space,
yeah,
then I can understand, saying you being contended by another one whose channel is exclusively for the space.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what the Black man. We don't. For the most part, like when we're sharing channels, it's either exclusively to the space or it's somebody that is basically saying something that validates what we've been saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but my whole thing, man, is that I don't mind, man, if you're gonna talk on your channel and you're gonna run your mouth on your channel, it's fine, man. But my whole thing is if I show up to somebody else's channel, I'm trying to support, because people don't think that me showing up is support. It actually is. It's support, right? A lot of times, man. If I want to say, if I want to say something, I don't, I could fire up in midday and get 200-300 people watching. I don't need to come to somebody else's channel to actually say what I need to say. I don't. I come here, just like people supported me, I want to support them. Okay. Just like, Kev and Raj and all these kind of people help support me. I pay it forward, right? Yeah. Like the Coliseum, right? Yeah. Since Art of Itmore is working, he can't do it all the time. You get AB Media, you get Charles, you get somebody else actually picking up the slack, right? So I come over there and get them started and get people over to actually support the channel.
Yeah, I thought that's what the fuck this quote unquote space was supposed to be about. Like, let's take somebody that's controversial. Fantastic can be controversial. I've gone in on Fantastic a couple of times directly, by the way, but overall we're cool. I shared his stuff. Fantastic has been doing 400, sometimes 500 and 600 live viewers, and he left and came back because obviously he does the Navy thing. There's been times like people have no idea how many people I've told that can tear people apart, that I've said don't do that because I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, as far as not even for me, but just for other stuff like that I've shut down for people. Because at the end of the day, he came in and he has been, look, Fantastic. People listen to him. When you can get hold in engagement, that's you. Because just because people share people don't mean people are going to stick. Yeah. So let me be clear about that. But again, somebody like that can come in here, have his opinion, just like with the situation with him having kids, versus, the situation that happened. I'm not going to mention who, but Fantastic, like a lot of people agree with what Fantastic had to say. And like I said, he can speak on that because he's been married. He had a kid. He had those experiences. I don't, because I don't just share it just because that's what we're supposed to do. There are people who can speak the shit I can't. There are dudes that are older than me, got more experience in certain things. They have different experiences, right? And I'm humble enough. I don't expect. There's people that don't like me because of my delivery. So it's like, hey, so you need a street nigga that's saying basically the same shit? Okay, here you go. Boom, boom, boom. There's a practical reason I do this stuff too. Right. And so that's what the space is about, because everybody don't share people like I do. Now, people do it sometimes. And so it's kind of like, it's funny because it's like, we're supposed to do these things, but it's like we're allowing certain people to just keep on saying the same shit over and over. And it's not like new shit. They're just hating in different ways. The ABCs of hating.
But bro, that's what it comes with. Once you, no offense, once you step out, like think about it. When I stepped out to do that, I know that, hey, when you come out to do this, there's a reason why some of us got to take certain precautions, like maybe not showing your face, like letting them know too much information about you. But the reason is like, it comes with the job. Like I can't sit up here, like Kevin Samuels can't sit up here and make the $5 million he made in a year and a half without having to worry about all the flack that came with that shit. I mean, plain and simple. But
I'm not
you're not Kevin.
My argument with that is if somebody comes up on my shit talking about somebody's a bitch, even if it's somebody I'm like semi cool with, or somebody, even if it's somebody I don't like. If somebody just saying, "Oh, this nigga bitch ass nigga, fuck that nigga," I'm like, all right. So what's your problem?
But it's your channel though. That's your channel.
Yeah, but I'm gonna hold on. I'm just saying. I'm just giving an example. I'm gonna say, okay, what's the issue? What's the real issue you got with dude? And if they say I just don't like that nigga, I'm gonna be like, okay,
bro. Calm down a bit. Look, Edward. Everybody not you though, and everybody don't handle it the way you do. It's like I know everybody don't handle it the way I do. Like me, I'm one. Hey man, you come out there, I'm ready to throw the hands. But not everybody like that. I mean,
I'm not talking about they talking about me.
But I know shit, Negro. That's what. But I'm saying everybody's not like you. Some people like you might say, well, why do they allow it? When you on your channel, you control the shit. When you're on other people's channel, they control the shit. That's one of the things that you do that you got to realize when it comes to this shit. Because when you sit up here and worry about when you, God damn it, Edward, wait a minute. When you sit up here and worry about that has what goes on other channels that you don't have nothing to control about over, he said, don't go to the channel no more. That's what I stopped doing. Hey man, I really don't like what they do. I don't even fuck. Look, just don't go no more. Because I hate to say you wasted way too much energy on that. Way too much energy.
I know for the most part, don't take one conversation and make it like I've been just on this like massive crusade. This is like one of the first time I'm really speaking as freely about it.
I'm just saying, bro, but think about it.
Hold on, but the thing about it is that shit. Hold on, what happens is that shit escalates to the point where you don't have a space. That's the issue. It's not about telling nobody what else to fucking do.
I hate to say something. No offense, nigga. If they couldn't destroy the space back then when it was just me and all the other little things, think about it. The more you do, the more. Just give an example. Some people do branch off. Like Kevin came up through the space, and Kevin, all these people, they do branch off and do what their own critique is. It's not that they left the space, but they went up. They started here and they grew and they said, well, this is what I wanted to do, and that's what they want to do. This space is going to continue to keep creating people. That's what you have to realize. You have to realize that this space is basically the first stepping stone on a damn road to recovery.
The newest philosophy the first step. in this the producer of the newest philosophy in this age.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it is. It's not that the people left the space; it's that they went on to do it the way that they wanted to do.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't look bad on the space because the space still gonna be here. And I hate to tell you, the best thing that the space constantly needs to do is to continue to talk about black women. You know why? Because that will bring more men to another because they care about women. So that's the most important thing. And that's the reason why they attack that so much. Because if you want to stop the more men coming in, what do? Get them to don't talk about black women. You lose the camaraderie and all of that there. Now, eventually people get tired and they move on. But unfortunately, where they meet, where they start, where they, when you trace it all back to the beginning, it's kind of like in Fight Club, where he's like, man, I wish I would have gone there and watched her die. I wouldn't have to worry about her, Carla, die. And then I wouldn't have to worry about her finding out that I'm Tyler Durden and the other dude. You know what I mean? Like literally. Sometimes, wait a minute, let's go ahead and stop the fire before that happens. And that's what the space is doing. And that's why you want them to continue to talk about women, because that usually starts everything. And then you branch off from there.
I can care less what people talk about. People have a right to talk about what they want to talk about. But what motherfuckers need to stop. Really, this should not be a space full of haters. motherfuckers that at the end of the day, like somebody, where are the people really saying, and I know Kev, you said it, but where are the people really saying, nigga, you mad because you trash? That is not, it's, like, it's to the point where niggas say everybody doesn't have a right to basically say some shit and not be countered with that. And that's really what's going on. It's really on some, well, they got a right to talk. Cool, they got a right to talk. And people got a right to basically check that shit. And here's the problem. When it's all these individual fucking skirmishes, then the real shit that needs to be talked about doesn't get talked about. Because it's a time waster. It's just like there's a reason I don't argue with white people about white supremacy. Because no matter what, they own what they own. That's actually a tactic to actually get you off of what really needs to be talked about. And a lot of dudes do the same shit. Hell, it was a conversation you was having, I think it was with Complex, where you literally could not talk. Like literally. Because of the bullshit, like kind of how he was going about doing it. And I'm like, yo, I know, like, I'm not the only one hearing this. And you were doing everything you could to give latitude for him to be able to have an actual conversation. And he wouldn't let it. And the difference with me is I'm just on some, it just don't need to be had.
It's just what it is, bro. I mean, unfortunately, it's this. I realize that some people I can save, some people I can't. And unfortunately, is one good thing about the space is I try to save a lot of people. Like, man, you know, but then sometimes you got to realize some motherfuckers got to fall by the wayside. It's just what it is.
Yeah, and people got, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, people got their tolerances to that. As far as letting somebody win, I don't even know why people even perceive it as that. Because O'Shea didn't let them win because O'Shea just started doing him outside the space. He didn't let them win. Dennis didn't let them win. Rom didn't let them win. But if people are going to use the Black Manosphere as a way, as an excuse to say, well, I'm not hating on this person. I'm just trying to, push us in the right direction. Then maybe I need to seriously think about saying, okay, y'all get to have the license. I'm relieving my license to the Black Manosphere. Because ain't nobody going to sit here and say nothing to me on the grounds of I'm trying to protect the space. Because niggas are hiding behind shit.
Well, it's like I said, it just goes with the territory, Edward. And unfortunately, I said, you're a very good debater. You're very good at dismantling shit. You know how to slick things around real quick on the spot. Like, I'm not going to laugh. You're very quick with it, and your responses are really quick. And I ain't gonna lie, you can talk very fast, like we said, and go hang with the women. Of course, we would definitely lose something in having a person like you leave the space. So you damn right. If I knew that talking about your mama could get your ass up out of here and I was running my scams, I'd be talking about your mama every day, bro.
Dude, yeah. First of all, I was saying what I was saying before my mom passed. So this ain't got nothing to do with my mom.
But listen, if I knew that would get you off your game and you would be doing that and I'm trying to accomplish a certain goal, trust me, nigga, I'm doing it all day. So my
question is, why the fuck do we got people in the space that want to destroy the space?
Oh, because they were never thinking about you infiltrate from within.
Because you do realize the argument that you're making is to protect the people that have the intention to destroy the space. You do realize that's the argument we've been having right now.
A lot of people don't know who your enemies are. Bro, I'm telling you.
Oh, they've been identified. I mean, I've mentioned them.
Edward, I'm stealing all the money when I'm working at this company. I'm stealing the money. They didn't know the main person who was stealing the money is the one pulling all them damn strings. That was me. I've been that person. And a lot of times you don't realize, a lot of people don't know. Infiltrate from within.
So you it sounds like you're pro-infiltration.
No, I'm not pro-infiltration. I'm just saying that you got to realize that.
Dude, I'm saying that the double agents need to be rooted out. You make it like that's just a part of the game.
Every time you got a movement that's going anywhere, it is part of the game. Ask the FBI. They'll tell you.
We're not talking about, but the thing is, I'm not arguing about external forces, though. Well, like, we got to hold on. My thing is, we got to, hold on. We got to, do you realize that most of that list on that space, like if you pull out Kevin's list, do you realize I'm going to say it this way. If you got a list that's supposedly, and Brokers, I'm curious your opinion on this. If you got a list of a group and let's say 70% of that list don't like you, Would you consider yourself a part of that group?
It all depends on. It all depends on. Listen. I tell you like that. It depends on what I know the space is doing and all like this. Sometimes you wouldn't believe, and even they said that. That's the reason why they're trying to do that new law where they're talking about where sometimes the people who are antagonists on like June 6th come to find out a lot of those people work for the government, and there were so many different agencies trying to tear the place up where they didn't even realize that wait a minute, it's this agency and they was trying to get this agency people to do this, and there was another agency here, they're getting this people. It's kind of like Hell Hydra and Marvel. It's like you got so many other you know. Sometimes it's other factors, things that are involved in that.
Dude. Then it's somebody else that needs to step the fuck up and do it. Then it's not. I'm not Jesus.
But I mean, no offense,
I'm not in the
it comes with look. It comes with a movement. Any type of movement, especially going up against what the status quo is, there's going to be ways to fracture it off because some people are doing it for power trips. They like the power and control because they realize that, wait a minute, this place actually, the manosphere actually has movement politically. They realize that you can get a group of men to do something. Think about it. The companies, they realize we can back certain candidates and we can control what they do without having no part in government.
Yeah, but you're getting away from what it's not even that big. It's not even that big, dude. It's not that you scaling it up.
No, but shit, yes, it is. Controlling people's opinion.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Is more important than anything. Why do you think?
What you got right now?
Facebook and all these companies. Wait a minute. Why do you think Facebook and all these companies allow you to post all these shit on Facebook?
You are completely running away from what
you guys are thinking about. It's power in that.
It's just, dude, this ain't no Avengers Infinity War Endgame. What we talk about is a much more personal story. It's like Captain America Civil War. It's much more personal than that. Like it gets to the point where you got people that are basically consistently getting very personal. And the difference between Tommy is Tommy did that shit too. Like for the most part, I'm not doing that. And when people, my point is, it ain't even about me. Cause number one, I'm just the one that's just voicing the shit. There's other people that they already done. It really is. That just is what it is. And then people gonna look up. Niggas gonna look up and be like, well, how did it get this way? And I'm just giving record as to what each step of the way, there's stuff that could be done about it. Like at the end of the, like for real. So it's kind of at the end of the day, you have folks that say they're part. Even Bernard said that they are anti-Black manosphere, but they're in the space. I don't understand what's so hard for that.
Bernard to say that he's anti-Black manosphere?
No, Bernard said you have a lot of dudes that are anti-Black manosphere, and he was really talking about that in reference to somebody like Sub-Zero and Theo, because they were going after him with his school and stuff. Which people forget. People don't really know how much effort like Sub-Zero didn't always get paid like that from that. You know, that was kind of a labor of love for a long time. And so, and you talk about me running my mouth versus somebody that actively helps Black men actually get into the tech industry. So I don't weigh what the fuck I do compared to what the fuck he does. And shit like that gets to the point where niggas actually might say F it and move on to other more profitable things because you got motherfuckers that they get to get this free reign on bullshit. Without nobody really questioning it at all.
Yourself short. Listen. It's plenty of people that heard you speak, and they've been like said they may not be able to articulate it as well as you do and come back with the comebacks. And I'm pretty sure there's just as many. You might. Well, I ain't showing nobody really nothing else, but trust me, there's some people that you done made help get through the day because you done articulated something so well, and they can relate to that. They went through that same situation, but the way you articulated it made them feel like, okay, cool. Now I totally understand it. I was really right there. I just couldn't process it and get it out as quick as or as fluently as this man.
Well, apparently that's just SBE. But yeah, because people have been in my email.
No, listen. I'm not gonna lie. This is the beautiful thing about you, Edward. You got so much fight in you, and as they say, small dick energy or whatever they want to say. But they just basically it's just enough. Anytime they come up with a term or that, it's just you already know you're on the right track because you're pressing on pressure points. As they say, press into it hurts. And I mean, and that's the reason why. You already, I hate to say that should, the more they talk about you, I mean, like literally, they call it, what's it, SDE for you? I ain't gonna lie. There we go. Start up an SDE show. You should do some SDE streams.
I'm not like,
Period.
dude, I don't
No,
get
for
like
real.
my issue with all of
No,
that is I don't get paid
listen.
enough to do all of that.
Did you? No,
I
but
don't.
listen. I mean, at work, you sit up here and talk all this shit, but that could be what blow you up. Just give you an example. Back then, I remember it was like when I first was on. It was Slapper when he came at that, and I said, "Oh man, they call his show the Bus Stop." And everybody never heard it. It got a name. Then boom, he changed the. I was like, man, you should call it the Bus Stop. Change the name. I said, why is that? I said, because they done came out with a term, and now you're gonna use this term that they hating on you as marketing. And literally,
yeah,
his
I
subscribers,
understand that,
listen,
but
he jumped like double in like a week. And then on top of that, brought new people, and the people, so you want them to, man, every time you flip that shit and use it right on them. I mean, like literally.
Again, I hear what you're saying, but I didn't come into this stuff necessarily with the intention of blowing up. The reality is part of why I took myself out of the equation.
Sit back and shut up for a minute. Most people motherfuckers didn't come in. Think about it. I didn't start working on houses with the intention of doing it as a full-time job. This was my therapeutic stuff.
Again,
so no offense, nigga. Maybe this is your calling. Maybe this is shut up and listen, Edward. Maybe this is your calling to really make a difference. See, sometimes you fall into a job and you become better at it than anything else.
It's not. The reality is part of one of the reasons why I left is because it is to demonstrate, and that's why I remove my videos as well. It's to demonstrate that whether I'm here or not, all these people talking this bullshit, because now I removed all the excuses. Unless I'm on somebody else's shit, people can't even access my content. It's only like 5 or 6 videos I got on my Patreon. So with people not being able to access my content, you still gonna see that the people that are trash are still trash, because it never had nothing to do with me.
But I'm just trying to say, sometimes you may not realize that it's most of the people. Think about it. Kevin Samuels never knew he was going to have the show that he did. Remember, he was doing cologne and shit. I mean, think about it. Sometimes you fall into it, and you might sit up here and say, look, man, I don't want to take the stress in dealing with this. But no offense, Edward, you're really good at it.
It ain't about taking no stress, dude. When you understand the hours, really the dollars that I put into this shit, and the fact that doesn't even get factored into it, it's on break. Everything you saying is like different variations of the brothers needed. Well, and the reality is, if that's the case, then you got to create an environment where people want to be here. And what you have is an absolutely hostile environment, because quite frankly, a couple of bitch ass niggas that are upset that they can't get people to listen to them. Because the reality is, with me, if only 5 people was listening to me, I would still do my shit. And so you got motherfuckers pocket watching other people, making assumptions, and it's gotten so bad that you got people secondarily speaking on it. Like, I'll never forget, somebody said, well, the reason why niggas are hating on you is because you don't project an era of success. This coming from the same nigga that supports another dude that's one of the main dudes that's upset that ain't nobody listening to him. So the argument, and here's another thing, this fucking like battle rap bullshit that we got. Nigga, I'm not really here to debate anybody. I'm here to say what the fuck I think, and that's it. Now, if people want to ask for clarification, I'll give it. If they want to challenge it, I'm cool with it. But nigga, this is not a hip hop battle rap. This isn't what they used to have on MTV or BET. This ain't that. This ain't, because you got dudes that the way they act is the only way they can grow is if they step on another person. And rather than being honest about that, what they try to do is say little slip shit like, oh, I believe that this person is suppressing me. I mean, Kev has been here for a minute. It's a lot of dudes that's been around for a minute. So when people say that shit, it's that they don't even want to own the show shit they do. Anyway.
Are you black, Edward? Are you black? Right? You're black, right?
Yes.
You're a black man, right? So you should already know that, unfortunately, we got a couple of Achilles heel that's grown in a lot of black culture, and a lot of us black men. We've taken like an all or nothing approach, and that doesn't even go with that didn't even go against black men. That goes against everything. Kind of like every time you do anything for men, as they say, why every time the men ask for anything, the women always take it as we're trying to suppress them in some ways. It's like it can have nothing to do with women where we say we would like to do this, that, or the other. And it's like, see, I guess trying to, suppress women. It's like, well, no, all we were just asking for this. See, they have it's like anytime I try to step up, I'm putting you down. But a lot of us have actually got that mentality in our head to where it goes really hard. And unfortunately, they attack very quickly because a lot of us, we don't know how to control our anger.
Well, I mean, people have been attacking me.
We've seen our women act that way, and that's the reason why.
Yeah, but the difference is with the women though is when it comes to what we're doing here, it ain't like we got real, like there's rules with the women easily. Like women can't come in here, they really can't get the foothold, at least in what we do like that. Like they got to do what they do on their own channels for the most part, and people got to go over there and actually make a decision to listen to them. However, people want to be mad at that, that's what it is. Versus we have women come in here, like I'm on the team, but they actually get the ability to subvert it. Like for instance, BGS really held Shay Sade is one of the better ones when it comes to really, calling stuff out and being fair-minded. BGS checked her real quick with what she said with Pearl. Real quick, even though she's been pretty much 98% on point. And my thing is, what happens is you have dudes that their channels is literally aimed at fuck me. They're aimed at a lot of other black men. It's like, what the fuck are you here for? Because you guys need to talk more about us than some of the purple pill motherfuckers.
No offense, nigga. I mean, this is the thing.
Yeah, we're not on the same team then.
But Edward, I'm gonna let you know. You want to get the women and stuff all like that. It's money in attacking the space. Not everybody has good morals. A lot of times, think about it. Women love drama. You want to get women and self-supporters and all like that. And then a lot of people are doing it just so they can have a reason to sleep with the women.
What I'm saying, and I'm going to be very clear here.
Look, they have no game. And so if you can sit up here and make channels like this, attacking people like that, you might end up meeting with a lot of people, men do it just for that. Just to have a game and have the interaction with women. Period.
I want to be very clear here. There's an idea in this space that we're all on the same team because people wear a label the black manosphere. They're enemies. And let me be very clear here. I don't fuck with most of these niggas in this space. Like straight like that. And the reality is it needs to be a reorganization. Now, if I need to see myself out because this space is anti-me, then fucking so be it. I ain't got no problem with that. But this shit where we just having this perpetual, I spent a whole year having this circular fucking firing squad bullshit, especially like because these people have these fucking issues that they believe, they talk about self-improvement, but they can't self-improve their own bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like seriously. That's really kind of what I want to say. So all this kind of bullshit about what's needed, what's fuck, all of that shit. Because at the end of the day, that's not reflective in people's actions. That's just shit that people saying.
Well, Edward, I'm just going to tell you like this. After you get through all of the growing pains and the stuff like that, eventually you'll realize that, like this, it bothers you and it's very stressful, and I know it is. But after you realize, you gotta look, you gotta realize you gotta be able to take an insult, let it roll right off your back and continue on.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, man. Like you got dudes a lot more stronger and older than me that have said fuck this shit. And they still got their channels, man. The reality, like you keep making it something it's not, and that's actually part of the fucking problem. Part of the problem is the apathy of it. And that's fine. Right. That's why a lot of dudes just say deuces.
Right. I understand. Look. Not like I said, not everybody can handle it. It comes
like it ain't even about handling. Like you do realize that a lot of channels, when they kind of step out of that, they like even from a growth perspective, what this bullshit is not conducive to really anything positive. And really you're like defending that. Like a lot of, like, for instance, when Angry Man was doing nothing but the beefing, guess what? His shit was depressed. When he finally came off that bullshit and stepped away, his shit popped. Same thing with O'Shea. I can give you list of people. And what it is all I'm saying is motherfuckers need to be let go because they really ain't contributing shit. and we're on something. Let everybody speak, no matter what, when they ain't got nothing to say. I'm not saying they can't speak on their own shit. What I'm saying is you got motherfuckers that literally have turned this into a fucking gossip mill. But whatever. I mean, people just not gonna hear it, and that's fine. I got my answer.
Stepping stone. You know,
yeah, okay.
I mean, like literally, it's a stepping stone. Use this place as a stepping stone.
Yeah, and then it's also, oh, you don't give a fuck about the space. You just using the space. My point is,
bro,
my point is the
wait a minute, Edward, damn it. Wait, bro.
Because you're saying the same thing in different ways.
But bro, some people, like I said, that's not the fight you want to fight. Just realize it. You know, this is the problem. It's like this. It's no one tool fit all. It's like, you know, I don't go in to build a house and the only thing I walk in there with is a drill. It's basically, you have to realize that, hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna go off if you want to go off and do your way, it is. And you say the space ain't gonna never grow as this, but they're gonna always sit back and say, oh, well, I started in the black manosphere. You know, basically that's what it is. And then I went off, I decided this is what I wanted to do because that's that or the other. But trust me, the space is still, you know, when you all goes down, the roots you came through the black manosphere.
Dude, like real talk, it only takes about 3 or 4 people to say fuck it for this really just to be not even technically the black manosphere no more. You do realize that, right?
No, I hate to say that.
It takes about 4 content creators, if it was the right 4, that really is just individual channels at this point. You do realize that, right? Like, I don't know where this whole league of shit you talking about, like, it's like really like this is how a lot of conservative act towards capitalism. Like, it's like infinitely deep to where shit can't really break. I mean, we like technically, like, it's a lot of dudes that already have. All right, man. I mean, like, and that's kind of what I kind of figured. Yeah,
the name might change, but it's still the same fucking thing. Like, remember, I told you I was here before the manosphere. Then the name might change, but it's still the same fucking thing gonna be there. It may not be called the black manosphere, but it's still gonna be the same fucking thing. Just the name change.
I'm not even talking about the name. Oh man. All right.
No, I'm just letting you know the truth. That's not going nowhere, buddy.
All right, man. So basically what we talk about, niggas on YouTube ain't going nowhere. And I'm not saying that it is, but actually what we got with the congregation of what that is, okay. So you really on some it can't break shit. So that's fine. That's my mistake. It's just like when I'm talking, no, I hear you, and that's a valid opinion. It's just like if I talk about conservatives, black conservatives about capitalism, and I'm a capitalist, I'm in sales, and niggas act like, oh, that shit can't never break. Capitalism is God. If I understand that's where somebody's coming with it, I understand this is kind of a worldview thing, because the way so it really don't matter. So it's always gonna be
it's still gonna be look, these talking points are already it's rooted in fact.
That's not what I'm talking about, but okay.
Right. The name might change, but what did I say? It's still the same
shit. Okay. So we're not really talking about the same thing. That's really the issue. So it's fine.
But I'm just saying this, like, I understand why you want to fight for the space and all like that. But sometimes you got to realize that the field is not going nowhere. I mean, the term where we might, because technically, you said the term that we commonly use could blow up tomorrow.
I'm not even talking about the term. I'm not talking about that. I'm not even talking about like the word. I mean, I'm talking about like, again, like for instance, if everybody just started doing uploads and didn't do live streams, the actual interaction that people have, that's disconnected. That's one of the reasons why, like O'Shea and a lot of people are talking about go to way of live streams, because that actually in a lot of ways cuts off the audience. They only can interact with you so much that way. And obviously that's why when you were saying like as far as people bothering me, people have been bothering me for years. That's not what that is. Now the shit has been ratcheted, like really when somebody pretended to be me and then got people to react off of it, that's when that kind of became something else. But the truth is too, a lot of people you are mentioning, they go towards the smoke, meaning they actively build their channel on the bullshit.
It's an audience for it. So like you can say, I'm gonna start doing live shows and this, that, and the other. Unfortunately, I think an audience will find somewhere else to go. I mean,
And they can. And they absolutely can. And maybe it's audience remanagement. But the truth is, if the whole space does that, they not gonna have nowhere else to go. Because the truth is, hold on, let me tell you why. Because other platforms, as soon as you say anything they don't like, they blocking your ass. Most platforms ain't on this. I'm gonna let you get it out. Because the truth is, the only reason why people run that shit here is because there's a familiarity with certain people and their principal live stream. But if you go to other people's platforms and live stream, this is why a lot of dudes do this here. They can't run that play nowhere else because they'll get regulated instantly, immediately.
Oh, well, this is the thing is, over there is, when you really want to sit up there and say that's a perfect example of a circle jerk. Because think about it.
That's not my point, because there's different versions. Like, for instance, because I got like a list of like a couple of hundred YouTube channels. So I've seen like how people do stuff differently. Most YouTubers only fuck with maybe one or two, especially if they're like my size or maybe like between my size and 15. They don't have like a space like what we have it, you know. And if they do have that, they don't have that. Either they're doing uploads because they're going after AdSense. It's really mainly or they're not doing the kind of numbers we're doing. So their audience is like completely different. And so they'll stand out if they start saying crazy shit in their audience and get blocked. Like if you go to like lead attorney stuff or the people that are like offshoots of his stuff, a lot of them operate differently. A part of how people come in here and they do what they do here is because they know they can get away with it. And so it's not even about, oh, I'm telling people what to do, but it's kind of like, nigga, if I'm not in the chat, it's not like, okay, I'm in the chat. Think about it. I'm in the chat and then you just commenting on me. You a whole bitch. If you sitting there, because let's be clear here. These niggas that like to say, like that nigga that said what he said in the chat, I wish he would say that to my face. A lot of these niggas ain't that brave. And that's another reason why I don't respect it. Oh, this nigga look like a chicken. He ain't got no neck. He ain't got this. He ain't got that. Da. I don't even know these niggas. And it's like, so what about what Edward says that you don't like? I don't know. I just don't like that nigga. You sound like a ho-ho. That's what women do with women. They start cutting them down. Now, I don't care about it if you want to do it. But the thing, but it gets to the point where dudes, they clock the channels they can do that with.
Edward, who raised these men?
It ain't even about and guess what? There's prerequisites to be in my shit.
Yeah. Right.
You know, boys aren't allowed in my shit. You know, we have grown conversations over here, over here. And so when it becomes, and it, like I said, I've seen this stuff on a couple of different channels, and yeah, people haven't blocked the time out. So I'm not coming over here regulating it, but niggas be trying to act like it don't happen. And even what he said wasn't even the worst. Honestly, that was light compared to what other people are saying. But it's kind of like, why the fuck you here gossiping about another nigga? Like to the point where I'm not mentioned, and to be fair, yeah, you mentioned me when he started saying that because you was talking about me and BGS. But it's like, why are you doing that? But you better. You got your shit together. You getting bitches. You doing all of this. So why would you even constantly comment on it? To the point where nigga that he don't even got a single video on his channel, yet you still got something to say about him. And then when I ask people that, they be like, well, you got a name. Like, what does that even fucking mean?
Edward, I'll say this. You ever realize that most of these motherfuckers ain't shit? That's just really what it all boils down to. Most of these motherfuckers ain't shit, ain't part of shit. I mean, like, look at half of the people online. You don't even hear that. Yeah, like, how many times are they interrupted by phone calls or shit happens? Like, especially if the motherfuckers be online all the time and you don't never hear a female or anybody in the background. Half of the people, the only people they have is these motherfuckers online. So they try to go online and be something.
Most of these niggas, they don't even, they won't even get on. They won't even get on here. I mean, this is a supposed smoke show. Ain't nobody showing up. Now I get it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and this has been going on for a couple of weeks, so they can't say they don't know. But it's just at the end of the day, my point is people either want a space or they don't, and it's everybody's responsibility. And I'm not even just talking about content creators, because a lot of these motherfuckers be in these little chats, these little discords and shit, where you let niggas just fly, and then you there, but you like, yo, why is this even a big deal? It's all y'all. Or I see dudes that they think they do the two-faced shit, but they like to show up on other people's shit. Niggas talking about, oh, it's about resources. I'm not even talking about the skills and resource shit, but they say you need to start talking about women. But I'm like, nigga, you're actually y'all literally hover around women's channels. I've seen it.
Well, this is the reason why. I mean, they come around with the channel because I ain't gonna lie, it's the best way to get. Some people don't have game. They can't walk up and talk to people, like they can't laugh and joke with them. That's the best way they can get, interaction with females. Like it's the reason why that women always fight with a lot of men on the damn in the damn comment sections of things, because that's the only way they can interact with men.
On here, so yeah.
Hey, all right. Hey, we got Spawn, the programmer, up here. What's going on?
Yo, what's good with y'all, man? How y'all doing?
What up? What you got to say? Is it what it is?
Kind of came in late, so I don't really know what y'all really talking about, but I know it's a smoke show, so I know me and you were kind of like going at it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got some disagreements as far as like you saying that black men can't work together in this space.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so my thing is just kind of like, okay, I definitely do see black men being able to work together, but it kind of have to be on some, we gotta have like the same ideas or like have the same direction of like where we would like shit to go, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we can't get the foundation right on just like some common ground, it's kind of like we're both pulling like a rope in different directions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my argument is so I got a question for you. What do you think the biggest consistent issue with black men as a group is in multiple areas of activity?
What you mean by that? Like
what do you think is an issue, whether it's whatever? Like, let me get, it's not even like a trick question. Like the issue, and when you look at areas of activity, it's not areas of activity like law, war, sex, economically, mainly shows up economically. Music, the hip hop game is black men have these falling outs, and yeah, other groups have these falling outs too. But we have these falling outs because one of the things I wanted to examine, because I believe the red pill is 360 degrees. Like, you should aim it at yourself just as much as you aim it at the chicks. And one of the things that's consistent, although some people do it better than others, is black men not be able to congregate in big enough groups long enough term. And part of that is white supremacy, but part of that is our own internal stuff that I get where it comes from, but still, in order to create that kind of exponential compound effect. And a lot of that shows up when you got people that have their individual issues, that because it's not going their way, they get to be on some scorched earth, I'm destroying everything shit. And rather than that getting regulated, and when I say regulate, like, if you got an issue, say what it is. And then once they say what it is, realize, okay, that issue's bullshit. So maybe this shit just ain't for you, and you need to go somewhere else for the group. What happens is we let people perpetually have these issues that keep on coming up over and over and over, even though motherfuckers ain't saying shit. And so when I say black men don't work together in this space, I mean, there's a lot of evidence for that. Now, you can show me individuals or groups here and there, but I'm talking about overall. I do think that's still true. So yeah, there's examples of black men working together. I've worked with people, but as much as what we should be doing to the integrity of the whole group, I don't think that happens in the level it needs to. But
okay, but so why you think that? Like, how do you see that moving forward? If I'm like, okay, now that you said that, right? How do we get to that point? You know what I'm saying? Because we having motherfuckers just arguing. A lot of niggas.
I've already said how we get to that point. I've said 2 suggestions. Suggestion number 1 is there needs to be a baseline of how we're going to conduct each other that we can all agree on. I'm not saying there can't be smoke. I'm not saying there can't be heat. Like, I'm cool with Fantastic. I've had dragged out arguments with Fantastic that was yelling. So I'm not saying that we got to all be civilized and all of that. But what I'm saying is the hating bullshit needs to be called out. And to the extent Kevin kind of has been doing that, calling that out. So, but that shit needs to be called out. At the end of the day, this is why I think you mad end up. And that's the first thing. The second thing is, if it come down to it, the whole space needs to be reorganized. Meaning people that actually fuck with each other need to establish we fuck with each other. And then you got this off group that, they don't want to create their own shit, but they want to be over here. And it's like, look, and know that be established. So those are my suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
And Kev, what you mean by hating though? Then dude, next you can go ahead.
Yeah, I said.
I mean, so have you not seen that happens? When niggas just be going after niggas and they don't actually be having any reason. They just don't like that nigga.
Motherfuckers do be having reasons. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so give me give me an example. So you're saying you haven't seen any hating going on in this space?
I wouldn't say hating because a lot of I wouldn't call it hating.
Yeah,
you got a lot of people that kind of like talking about like subscriber supremacy and shit like that. And the people that I usually go around, like, motherfucker don't really care about like subscribers and shit like that. You feel me?
You said what?
Like, a lot of people don't really give a fuck about like subscribers, bro. Like, a lot of people, oh, you only here because we got amount of people in the chat. Like, bro, nobody really cared too much about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't
so
really
why do they say
that.
subscribe? So why do they bring up subscriber supremacy? I didn't bring it because that's what they bring up. They're out here like when somebody finally pinned somebody against the wall and said, "What's the issue?" The argument is that, for instance, I got 6,300 subscribers. I don't have no videos up right now. But apparently I'm suppressing, BGS is suppressing other people's channels, even though there's no evidence of that. Trust me, there's enough people that don't like me that somebody would have leaked that shit if they found a comment, a Discord, anything where I've said to do that. That's one of the arguments. That's what content creators are making. Go ahead, sorry.
I wouldn't say that you're suppressing other people's channels because, I mean, you're not like in control of YouTube and shit like that. But exactly. I think it's the people that feel like your talking points are not really it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so why not dismantle the talking points?
And I think it's been a couple people that actually have tried to dismantle your talking points.
Who?
I mean, you got Choosers I Know It. AM1.
Yeah, and that's worked very well. Like, let's go here. No, I'm glad because Kev played Truth Is I Know It video, so that's actually in line with what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I played his video earlier.
Yeah, Kev did. So that's not like out of and it was known it was him. So, and this was with something he said with Kev and whatever. It was all whatever. So give me an example of what he said, because what I hear is YouTube daddies. I hear that me and BGS are trying to push men to basically deal with women in compromised situations. I'm SBN, which is something he got from somebody else. That ain't even original in him. I'm not SYSBM enough, which I'm not a card carrying member of SYSBM anyway. I've made that very clear, which is why I refer to other SYSBM people. I just support SYSBM. These are arguments he's typically tried to make against me. And really, he makes these arguments as a means of trying to lower my he wants to siphon off my live viewers. That's really what it is. He's better than me. He's more accomplished than me. Then people need to listen to him versus me. Now, I've removed all my videos have been off of YouTube for 2 weeks. His numbers ain't gone up. I took a break. I'm only on other people's channels, like Kev's, like maybe a couple of times a week. But there's not a single video that people can get access to. And there's only like 5 videos on my Patreon.
Hey, Edward. Like, the reason why this is some people don't have the personality for it. You know, fortunately, Edward, you have a very good personality. When it comes to that, people gravitate to that. Just because somebody is successful at something doesn't mean everybody can do it. Some people make it look easy.
I'm not successful.
Bro. Yes, you are successful. Actually, you just don't realize it. Trust me, you are. Look, nigga, for you to be getting a backlash, you trust me, nigga, you are successful. You just don't know it. And your ass sitting up here talking all this bullshit, but hey, who knows, Edward? You could be the next person that they say, well, shit, this little short ass nigga came out here and really blew this. You could be you. That could be you. I mean,
my thing is, but the reason I even mentioned Truth is because, Truth is a hater. Like, Truth is a hater. Just because somebody has a reason doesn't mean, because hold on. Rule number 1 of hating is do anything you can to not appear to be a hater in Black culture. So a lot of this dust that gets kicked up is a way, and I've looked at the analytics. Like, if my name's not mentioned at a lot of these people, then nobody listens to them a lot of times. And this is big truth since I removed my shit. Huh?
All right, Edward, I'll make a deal with you. Just do me one favor. Since y'all been getting on me, I ain't made a video so long. Make one video, do the SDE in the video. Make one video, one stream.
I've done those
Watch
already.
I've done do a couple.
I've done a couple.
Do like 10, right, and leave them up. Do ones that you can leave up.
Yeah, and then them niggas go crazy. Them niggas go crazy.
Right, and look, let the motherfuckers go ahead and put money in your pocket.
That conversation. Because that is literally a term that's used in order to, that's a smoke screen.
No shit, right? But like you use a smoke screen to put money in your pocket, bring other people to the calls.
Yeah,
look,
well,
men are smart enough.
Listen, bro, them niggas don't.
Wait a minute, Edward. Wait a minute. Men are smart enough to listen to what you say because you dismantle shit very well, and come there farm their own opinion. Now the dummies that ain't smart enough, you ain't worried about them. But the people that can really pay attention to what you say and you dismantle, those are the ones you want to keep.
I've already look, dude. I don't get paid. Like, understand the hours that I put in versus what I get out of this. And I've already addressed the SBE conversation a couple of different times. The problem is it's a means of hating on other people without saying you're doing so. Because when you look at the people that actually do quote unquote SBE, like We Need to Talk, like Amawale, like the Daily Rap Crew, like the Purple Pill guys, those guys are not mentioned. The only people that are mentioned is generally either really, really big creators. They don't matter. Like people say Fresh and Fit SBEs, which I don't understand what that is. Or people try to say everybody does it. It's really a way of saying let's target it. And it's a dumbed down thing so people can just say SBE. This is why when I said, I asked somebody directly, how do I SBE? They said, I just give off SBE energy.
Well,
that was one of the ones that actually created the shit.
Right, and that shows you already like this. It's kind of like when they say 50,000 words and didn't say shit. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same.
And so that's a waste of my time to even engage in that shit.
All right.
I create a segment about it and go right ahead and keep it moving.
All right. Spawn, you want to get in one more time? Then I'm gonna do final statements.
Yeah, so like as far as like the SB conversation, I think when they're talking about as far as like that USB is kind of like when you talk about women and shit, depending on the context of you just shaming, explaining shit like that, you know what I'm saying? As far as like, okay, this is what the women doing and shit like that, just focusing on the women. And you know, I mean, me personally, I ain't really on that tip, you know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of people that disagree with it. I don't really think it's hating. A lot of people just like challenging your points, but I do believe it get to a point where it kind of get like hostile because, you know, I've been in this space for a while, but you know, I don't really like go at niggas like that. I don't be pressing.
Have you ever seen an example of somebody hating in this space?
Sometimes it's do. I'm not gonna say like
I'm curious to see if you can demonstrate what that looks like, because that allows me to gauge if that's just you don't believe that hating ever happens.
No, I never said hating never happened. It is niggas that actually hate, because you know a lot of niggas here don't like each other to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, you got to really think about it. Like, first of all, we're all on YouTube. We all have individual channels. It's not like I'm getting anything somebody else isn't getting, or I have access to something somebody else doesn't. I mean, it's not like I got all this technology. I'm doing all these crazy videos. So I don't care if people don't like me, but when people start making campaigns on other niggas not liking you just because they don't like you, and then they can't really tell you why they don't like you, it's like, I don't even want this nigga on YouTube. Nigga, that is a hater. And so what it is like, there's something about Black culture where they don't like to call stuff what it is. They like to create other stuff, because very few people actually go after my points. And even Truth doesn't really go after my points. Truth does a lot of ad hominems. Oh, well, he said to deal with and try to break shit down. Also with the SBE shit, I notice most people can't explain SBE without actually using the words in it. Like, I talk about Black culture and Black men's place in it. The reason why women get talked about to the extent that they do is because most of the shit that be having men hemmed up really be how men engage with women, how men overly trust in women, men allowing women to engage in their ego or engage in their guilt, which is something they've been socialized at a very young age, you know, to do. And so it's not, I'm also, the point of quote unquote SBE is the idea that I do what I do to change women. My channel is not about women changing. My channel is a 98% male. People that watch me are men. My channel is about providing options for men, because the more options you have and your ability to activate those options, this is where self-improvement comes in, is the better way you actually can take power back and have dominion over your own situation. The reason why women get talked about to the extent they do, because here's the thing, you talk about dudes self-improvement and doing all this shit, that's cool. But a lot of these dudes will do that just for the validation of a chick. And I've literally seen dudes actually self-improve and get popped like balloons because they are over giving chick, putting her on a pedestal, or putting black women on a pedestal. Like when you hear Umar talk about black women are a queen, even when they're acting fucking stupid, there's a lot of dudes that believe that shit. And there's a lot of dudes that believe that black women do what they do because black men just ain't shit. That's a lot of that self-loathing that a lot of black men actually feel. Maybe it's because they come out of single mother homes and they never heard the other side of the story, whatever. That's what I talk to, and I get specific on that. You know, me personally, when it comes to who black women pick, I say black women have a right to pick who they want to pick for whatever reason. I don't begrudge them for that. My thing is, don't lie about the outcome that you're in. Don't sit here and then, like, I'll give you an example. SZA, somebody told me, it's somebody that goes through lyrics of videos of like SZA, and SZA has this something that's blind and bind thing where she talk about, you know, you want to have a baby with me, but I'm popping pills and popping, morning after pills, which is fine, good. You know, you shouldn't get pregnant, blah, blah, blah. But my point is, don't sit there and say a good man never wanted to actually spend a life with you after the fact. Like, you went this whole time and niggas just didn't look at you. That's my thing when it comes to the women. Don't lie. Own your shit. Live your life, but own it. And a lot of these women, what they do is they throw us under the bus. Why is that important? That's important because your woman is your greatest character witness. Part of why black men and black boys are able to be harmed the way we are, and it's easy to harm us and get away with it. Like, take what happened to that dude that he got found not guilty. Trail, shout out to him. Part of why that shouldn't even went to trial, to be honest with you. Part of why that happens over and over is because black women have spent decades throwing us under the bus, and for whatever reason, the media wasn't there, whatever, we didn't push back. And it's because even with a lot of dudes, they act like shit is not a big deal. And yes, when they get on that microphone and talk shit about black men on mainstream media, like when they say we kill them, shout out to Media Man for giving the correct statistics on that, every 5 hours, you don't hear no other race say that shit. You know why? Because they understand what that is. Versus black women are so tired to do it. That's why I talk about them. It's because dudes need to understand that you need to protect what's in your best interest and recognize who your enemies are. Not saying all black women are, but a lot of black women are like that, and then they're around black women that are like that and don't check it. So people try to remix that shit and say SBE is this, oh, all you do is talk about women, while these niggas be mainly talking about women. Most of these niggas don't be really talking about stuff. The truth is, I could do, if I did a self-improvement channel, I would have so much more information than what they've produced. And they use that saying, oh, well, listen to me. But when I'm looking at what they're doing, it's like, all y'all really doing is talking shit about what we're talking about and talk about whatever shit you're passionate about. And then you saying, well, they talking about women. And that's just this thing you don't have to validate. But, and like I said, I know you don't know. I'm just giving you the explanation just so you know it's there. But, yeah, like I said, these niggas be hating because I'm not and that's why I'm gonna say something done. That's why I removed my channel, because if they don't like what I say or how I say it, let me take myself out of the equation for a while and let's see if I'm really in the way. What happened? These niggas still talking about me like I'm still making videos. Interesting. Anyway, that'd be my final thought to Kev.
It's kind of hard to hear you, Kev.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Yeah, guys. Thank you for coming through. Anybody got anything else to say? Dre,
I know you're kind of tired, bro. Go ahead and end it up, man.
yeah, this.
I
Yeah,
can hear it in your voice,
yeah,
bro.
it's been a Father's Day. You know, it's just it's always a
Yeah,
great.
happy Father's Day, by the way.
All right, thank you
yeah.
very much.
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day, nigga. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, and are y'all fathers besides Dre? I know
fuck
Edward is.
no.
No, that's
Okay,
why I'm
all
going
Oh,
out of
damn.
way to say it.
right. Okay, all right.
You talking
Well,
about, Kevin? I'm not a father.
yeah, you.
Yeah, I wish I would have came over here earlier, man. But you know, I just
Yeah,
kind of like woke up in some way, so you know, I
We
wish
can
I would
talk
have got
after the
like the
show.
full context of the show. You know.
Yeah, we'll talk after the show.
all right.
That way we
Well,
can close it out.
all right. Well, I'm about to close it out. Anyway, I just got some things I got to do tomorrow. I know it's Juneteenth, and black people can't wait to put on their African colors tomorrow, and just watch videos with Dr. Umar on it all day. But
Oh
so
God. I mean, he just went on that daily rap. I get it, and they did push back a little bit, but man, the shit he was saying, I'm like, you got to be a advocate for black men dating outside their race, because listening to you will make a nigga that don't want to do it really think about it.
man, just do it just because to see him look at look at you a certain
Like
way.
yeah, they got some stuff on TikTok talking about because he was talking about swimming in the milk, and they were applying that to the Spider-Man movie, and it's like,
Oh
yo, I'm
man,
so swim.
anything you,
Anyway,
I guess that's what they call a content strategy. King Kong consciousness got to do that too. But
well,
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. Is like I said, it's been a long day of celebrating that, celebrating as a father, especially the little one. She was on it today. And also I appreciate another smoke show is get the smoke show is growing, so that's a really good thing. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody's participation and the people who watch. And yeah, there'll be another smoke show Sunday next week. So anyway, I'm gonna say what I say at the end of every one of these shows. And it's important for us as men to remember, when you don't give up, you win. And I've always said that every show, and I really mean it. So hopefully hopefully as we begin our week, we keep that in mind. So long live the habitual line steppers. This is Kev. This is BMBBH. See y'all tomorrow night. Peace.
yep.